In a land of wonder and an age of heroics, a broken pact and a fractured power leads to a crumbling world. As their realities tear at the seams, a brave band of adventurers attempt to mend what has been torn. Will they succeed in time, or will they lose all that they hold dear? Join us to find out on The Shattered Compass.
Connecting to the Brotherhood database. Connection complete. Detonator activated. Stand by for retinal scan. Identity confirmed. Detonation cancelled. Have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Halloween Demon Hunters. I'm Mark. I'm the DM for tonight, and with me I've got Ethan Bougeot, Jason Straw, aka Lumiere, one of the Discord and Twitch mods, Jenna McMichael, one of the writers of the system that we're playing tonight, and Miss Chrysilla, one of the ones who helped me get into this system. So by force. Well, sort of. I mean, we were all going to Gen Con, and then Gen Con didn't happen then. Anyway, that's a story for another year. So the game we're playing tonight is Demon Hunters, a Comedy of Terrors. It is a system designed by Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, upon whose channel we are currently playing. Some announcements before we get into the nitty-gritty of the system. Ultimate Dungeon Showdown is pretty close to fulfillment. As far as I'm aware, they are sorting things out at the warehouse, and once they finish that sorting, which might take a while because it's one guy doing it, they'll be ready to ship. So that should be in the near future, hopefully before the end of the year. The Shattered Compass will be back November the 7th for its second season. Currently, they are in the water, on the plane of water, messing around and discovering that the plane of water is super classist. Who would have guessed? They will go on from there, as far as I know, and that is that. Golden Guns is filmed, is in post-production. When it will be out, I do not know, but it will premiere here first and then go to the various streaming sites for viewing there. Journey Quest, I have no news. Gamers, I have no news, except for the 20th anniversary edition is coming. I don't know when. And I think that's about it. Oh, Liberty Cabbage still needs to film one more day before it goes to post. That being said, Demon Hunters is why we're here. If you've been reading the comic, good on you. It stopped in 2015, so you've got, there's not a huge backlog waiting for you. Hopefully they'll get restarted again.
Second issue written but not drawn. I don't know if it ever will be.
Yeah. But we do have the role-playing system as well as 2 movies, with a third in script, if not in production. So Demon Hunters, a Comedy of Terrors is exactly what it says in the tin. It is a system about horror that is funny, nominally. So the setting is the modern day. Every myth, legend, every creation myth, every urban legend, all of that is true, except for aliens. There are no aliens. It might be great old ones that come from the depths of extraplanar beings. It might be, fairies, but it is never aliens. So Demon Hunter system is a fate hack. So instead of rolling fate dice, we'll be rolling polyhedrals. The lovely, lovely clickety clacks that we all get in sets, and we're finally using all the set for once. Basically, we don't generally roll a d20. If we do, you're probably in deep shit. So the way it works is that there are approaches and disciplines, and you want to roll high. So you always roll at least 2 dice on any check, an approach plus a discipline. So you can do things, you can use sneaky combat and tactics to, sneak a grenade into someone's pocket and blow them up that way. you just have to justify it to me, the demon master, how it works. And I'll either say, yes, okay, that sounds good, or no, that sounds like BS, or, some other kind of approach or discipline, and ask you to try that instead, or change how you narrate it. It's a very loose system. It's pretty fun. Approaches, disciplines, aspects, like Fate. Demon Hunters, A Comedy of Terrors runs on aspects. There are aspects of the players. If they all come from the same Brotherhood chapter, there are chapter aspects. Since you guys do not get to access them. Sorry, guys. And there are scene aspects. Aspects are things that are true about the character, about the scene, about the chapter, this, that, and the other. And in being true, they can be used. They are used through faith dice, depending on how they are discovered or where they are. Players might have to spend a faith dice from their pool. They each start with 3, I believe, and they will add that die to their dice pool when they roll. So it can get pretty ridiculous kind of rolls here, because you add all the dice up. So if you've got a D12 and a D12 and a D6 and a D6, your highest possible roll is 36. For clarification's sake, the thresholds they're trying to reach run in sets of 5. So 5 is negligible, 10 is kind of easy, 15 is average, medium, hard, 20 is hard, 25 is extremely hard, and 30 is nigh impossible. Unless you use aspects, of course. So the way combat works is that they also have negative aspects. These come in 3 varieties: moderate, severe, and mild. Conditions. So conditions are negative aspects inflicted by an enemy and are determined and their severity is determined by how many, what the difference is between the attack and defense rolls. So you can attack, defend, create an advantage, or overcome an obstacle during a turn, or just in general course of play. And so the difference between the defense roll and the attack roll is what determines the condition. I think that's the most important stuff covered. Anyone think of anything I'm missing? Anyone have any questions who hasn't played for a while?
I'll get there. I'm sure I'll need it.
I was going to say, just correct me when I get it wrong, because I'm sure I will.
Fair enough.
Been a while.
So, if anyone else has any other announcements? Anything they want to plug? Alrighty, then let's get into it. So, it is this time of year. It's late October, maybe not today, but it is certainly late October. And y'all ended up on various shit lists for various reasons. So you've all been assigned to a temporary Omega chapter and sent on shit list duty. So you've been sent to Texas because nobody really wants to go to Texas, and a lot of its Brotherhood chapters have moved out for reasons. It's late October, so it's hot. It's 90. The humidity point 73. It's disgusting. But they have to send a Brotherhood chapter out because for some reason, it's been 15 in the last week alone. The police in Plano, Texas, have been discovering bodies for a given value of bodies. They're really just piles of meat. It's kind of gross. So y'all have been dispatched, and you all kind of ended up in that place together because, like I said, your names came up on the shit list at the same time. So you are all possibly meeting for possibly the first time in Texas, in Plano, Texas, in white suburban hell in Texas. Shall we introduce your characters?
Howdy. Take it. To the audience or to the other characters?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Fantastic. I don't know that we've all met. My name is Corporal Jessup Wainwright Herrera. Don't ask me any historical questions because a lot of my brain's got it when I sat in the ground for about 160 years. Local boy, grew up around here back when it was still technically Mexico, I think. Just this sort of like very disheveled, got plucked out of an old mass grave and still wearing the clothes they were tossed in with. A lot of the colors leached out of it, but they're clearly wearing this old like Civil War Union era uniform. Just kind of hard to get a job as a bunch of sun-bleached bones. So we're stuck here until we're done.
Wait, so does he look like a zombie or just like
No, that's just bones.
Civil War reenactment?
It's not
Or
terribly incognito. It is just a skeleton wearing an old uniform.
Oh,
He looks like
okay.
a cheap Halloween decoration.
That's why the line's on the face. I was like, huh, is he a robot?
No, we're not dressed up as our characters, basically.
Oh.
It was just dressing up.
Except me. Whoops.
Well, you know, your character's got some real cool stuff going on, while the rest of us are just like, yeah, jeans and a t-shirt.
I was gonna say, jeans is further than I normally go. Hi, I'm playing Rigor Mortis, which is actually one of the pre-gens that comes with the game. She's a vampire who was offered the chance to prevent anyone else from being stuck in her predicament.
A vampire, what hunts other vampires? Sort of.
Sort
When
of.
it comes up.
When it's necessary.
Hi everyone. I'm Kathy, and she motions to her backpack. That's Grover. Don't worry about the tentacles.
You see a couple just go over her shoulder.
One of them has an eye at the end of it. She's just like, yeah, that's Grover. And yeah, I don't know if you can see this. Some people can, some people can't, but now we're in Texas and it's been a lot more visible. I don't know why. Maybe it's the hell thing, but like I'm more versed with like water-based hells, so I don't know what's going on. And yeah, I've been not working in New York lately because there are a lot of fish boys and Red Hook. And once they found out there was an unwitting Cthulhu priestess in Manhattan, things got annoying. There are Reddit threads about me that are really, really gross. So hi, I'm here to do the paperwork and the sorcery. But I'm sort of better at the paperwork.
And a mountain of a woman slams a sledgehammer down on the ground and just grunts, Ursula. I'm playing Ursula. She is the bastard daughter of famed demon hunter Deadeye Wendy Winfield and problematic prop comic Gallagher. Her mother taught her everything she knows about demon hunting, but the only thing she got from her deadbeat dad was his squandered birthright, which allows her to wield that most sacred and deadly of weapons, the sledge-o-matic. Also, she hasn't been in a great mood lately because a Navy SEAL bit off one of her arms. It was a whole thing.
I haven't seen you in such a long time.
Right, you two do know each other. You were on the ill-fated
It might
pirate
have been
expedition
since
together.
the day that my arm got bitten off.
So to be clear, the sledgehammer you slammed at is more like a grand mal. If people don't know who Fred Gallagher is, it's got a head like that. So
The head is bigger than a watermelon, yes?
yes.
Yes. Because of what it was often used
Much
for.
to the watermelon's chagrin.
It makes watermelon feel inadequate.
All watermelons in a 1 mile vicinity going, I'm in danger.
Pound cake? I guess it does. Sorry.
We're gonna get through this campaign for sure.
We're gonna do it.
Woohoo! Box text shenanigans!
We'll see exactly how many of you are still my friend after the end of this.
I already made it through one of these.
Given that I have your dinner for a week from like now, you probably want to keep me as a friend.
That's fair. But I also know where your house is, so I can go and steal it back in the night if I have to.
That's true.
I mean, on Saturdays I'm Merc's GM, so I'm just gonna roll with it because this is probably vengeance, probably well-earned vengeance.
I've tried to get Merc's character killed a couple of times, so I'm sure this is vengeance as well.
Anyway, so are we at the crime scene yet?
I don't think we've met Rigor Mortis.
Oh,
Or did we?
no, we just did.
Hi.
She just wasn't role-playing.
Okay.
She's,
Sorry,
she's here. She's being
Vampires!
quiet, going. So, what did we all do to deserve this one? I'm still not quite sure.
I accidentally
I
became a
lived my
Cthulhu.
life on the shit list. Who knows?
I get seen by the mortals a lot. I'm not exactly terribly incognito.
Seems like someone else's problem and not yours.
You'd think so, but they still ain't giving me a hood.
To be fair, at this time of year, you are slightly less conspicuous than you are normally.
I think that's why they let me out of my pen.
I mean, I accidentally became a Cthulhu priestess, so I'm pretty sure I'm the only out one in the Brotherhood, and tentacles roll downhill.
Word. Hey, Rigor, quick question. Corpse to corpse. What the hell is a Reddit?
I'm not
Do
sure.
not want to, don't Google it.
You're better off, man.
Well,
All right.
given that Kathy said it, Google, it's got to be something on that new internet thing.
I've only been out of the ground for a couple months. I'm still playing a lot of catch up right now.
All right. So you're all in Texas in a
Unfortunately.
yeah, you're all in a Honda Civic at like 2005 Honda Civic because it's what you could get.
Whoever's in the back seat with me is crushed up against those doors.
No, that's fine. I'm compactable.
I have taken the middle seat.
Kathy's probably the one driving because
Inexplicably.
Kathy's probably the one with still a valid driver's license.
Yeah, I'm.
and Rigor is going to be in the front seat because I don't know that anyone would survive in the back seat
Yeah.
if we were getting smashed in there.
I have not been declared dead, and I'm not a felon. So yeah, I have a driver's license. Yeah. At which point, Grover has probably stopped being a backpack and turned back into a mini Shoggoth, and is trying to snuggle with Ursula because he knows her, and is trying.
Aw.
It's just so there's this happy
Ursula's
little mini
putting on a
Shoggoth.
stern face, but secretly just sneaking over and petting.
What?
Blah.
All right, so you're all in Plano. You all have a couple, the last 4 or 5 locations that the police have found piles of meat that used to be people.
Blah.
No,
No,
you had-
Grover, not dinner. Evidence, and then dinner. Blah.
Okay. Yep. So you're driving through suburbia. This is not the richest half of Plano, but it is kind of up there. Nothing. None of these houses retail for less than 500K. But there are, every third house or so has a bunch of Halloween decorations out in front. Skeletons seem to be running theme this year. There are a lot of them around, but it's Halloween. There's also an equal number of inflatables that are up off the ground because kids are shitheads and will slash them if you leave them on the ground in Texas. No, I'm not speaking from bitter experience. Anyway, so yes. What would you like to do right now?
Oh, question. Do we have a cipher, or do I have to use the phone app?
You got the phone app.
Okay.
We're definitely on the shit list.
Chat, one day I will publish my New York City supplement, and you'll know what the phone app is.
Yeah.
So I have the cyber phone app. The cipher
Cyber
phone
phone app. Yep.
All right.
Unlike a regular cipher, it does not render your phone nearly indestructible. It does, however, render your phone an Android.
Well, my phone is already Android.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that it rendered your phone an iPhone SE second edition.
No, because regular ciphers are Androids, so
I get the joke, but
sorry. But yes, you have an app that will let you do basically the one cipher trick, which is connect to the Brotherhood database and make a knowledge check with it with a +2.
Okay. All right. So I guess I just have it. I almost said coagulate. Collect all of the data we have on this, whatever it is, the piles of meat that used to be people.
Okay, so what you have are a couple of police reports, or at least a couple of police reports that got forwarded to the Brotherhood by your person inside the police force. The police don't really have any leads. The piles look like they were just deposited there. Like there's no drag marks. None of the there's no drag marks. There's no really foot marks. Like they were deposited in suburban areas, so there's there's roads and there's sidewalks, but there's no real, there's no drips, nothing like that. They're just piles suddenly.
Okay.
do they look like they actually fell in that location, or do they look like they were moved into that location?
Yeah, do they look like someone just dropped a pile of meat there, or like they were dropped from a high place and went splat?
It looks like according to the reports, because they do include pictures, and you have the option of visiting some of the sites if you so choose. It looks like they were dropped, but not from a great height, like they were pushed off a table or something like that.
Okay.
Huh.
Should we go to the latest crime scene?
I mean,
Sounds
gotta
right.
worry about scavengers. Don't want to get nothing that's already been got to.
You mean like the cops?
No, I mean like coyotes.
Oh. I mean, they probably didn't leave the piles of meat out there if they thought they used to be people. Have the cops identified any of the meat piles as people? Specific people? Like, were there teeth in the pile?
There were no teeth in the pile, but given the recent rise in popularity of things like Ancestry.com, the widely available to cops DNA database, which is why you should never use those things, they have identified some of the corpses.
Okay. I probably have the cipher phone on speak and whatever. It's like, okay, cipher phone. Are there any factors connecting the victims?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you please repeat?
Are there
So
any?
it is an android.
Siri cipher. I need you to tell me what the connection between the known victims is.
The list of convictions is...
I mean, have there been any convictions?
So some of them... So for some of the identified bodies, there are actually a few convictions, but they are sealed in juvenile record.
Oh, so some of the identified people have rap sheets.
Yes.
Okay.
But only juvie records.
I still want to see them or hear them as the Android voice reads them out to me while I'm driving. Unless someone else wants to take my phone, and maybe I'll see it again someday.
I don't think I can use a touch screen.
I pass it to Rigor Mortis because she's in the passenger seat.
Oh, look.
Those-
So let's see.
I pass the phone up.
Yeah,
There
I
we
grab
go.
it. Okay, so hey, can you give me what their juvenile records were? And try and if it doesn't respond to my voice, I will actually start typing because I'm too lazy to try and figure out why it's not listening to my voice.
It will finally start listing off juvenile records. The first one it pulls up is a kid named Mercy Smith. She was picked up for shoplifting. It was like a year or two ago.
Okay.
Pretty minor. Second one is Tanya Nettles, vandalism, caught tagging a playground.
How long ago?
Couple months.
Okay, so Juvie's with Juvie or near Juvie with Juvie Records.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the other known victims kids or youngins?
So they've identified 4 out of 15 corpses so far, or at least piles of meat. And you can tell it's human meat because of the composition of it, that kind of stuff, and like the skin is still there. Parts of it anyway. And so the people who've been identified have ranged. The 2 with Juvie Records that you've heard thus far were 16 and 15 respectively. The other 2 identified people were 18 and 21.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can't see out the window. Are we there yet?
So you pull up. It's it's a quiet suburban street. There are some it's Plano, so there are some trees. If this were one of the newer builds, there'd be just fields of grass and it'd be hotter than hell on a holiday. But this is Plano, so it's got a couple of trees. It's got some old growth and some new trees planted. And you pull up and you can't pull up to the scene because it's still got police tape around it. And of course there are some looky-loos hanging around, even though that, the Emmy's been and gone. So there's nothing to see anymore except this really icky shaped stain on the ground.
Hmm.
And it's half on the sidewalk. The stain is half on the sidewalk and half off on the person's front lawn. And there's a for sale sign that looks very recent at that house.
Squeaky new for sale sign. How big is the stain? How wide is it? Is it this big or is it this big?
It's probably, God, I wish I had a ruler. So that's a foot. So it's probably 2.5, 3 feet across.
Okay.
It's irregularly shaped, so it's not, length and width or whatever, but it's about 3 feet. It's wide at 3.25 feet at its widest point across.
And again, looking at the pictures of the piles of meat, these are people that turn into piles of meat and did not explode, because then there would be a bigger splat zone.
It almost looks like they were butchered from the pictures.
And there were no teeth left. Are there bones left?
No bones.
No bones.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
It's a no bones day.
And then, are all of the piles about the same size?
They vary by the size of person. But they they vary by size of persons, but they're not, it's not one is widely scattered and one is, piled neatly or something like that. It looks like they're just,
Can we tell by the size of the piles that all of them are approximately the same age? Or are there some that are adults and some that are kids?
Some piles are a little larger, but none are much smaller than a 15-year-old.
Okay. So not going after kids, but definitely teenagers and up.
Yeah.
Yep.
College students and teens, maybe.
Yep.
This one was 21.
Classic slasher victims.
So you are at the crime scene. You're still in the Honda Civic, unless you pile out. Would anybody like to do any investigating on the scene?
Yeah, I would like to, from like the foot area of the back seat, an arm just raises with the skull on it. Hey, Ursula, you want to toss me in there? I get a closer look without
Happily.
crossing the police tape.
Absolutely. Just
Perfect.
wind up and chuck him
So like you lean out the window and
just out the window.
one arm chuck
Yes.
the skull all the way across. You land it perfectly, and sure enough, you land with a slightly squishy plop on the grass because it's a little muddy.
Fantastic. Now, this might be playing a little bit of Calvin Ball, but I would love to roll my Mystic Arts and perhaps invoke my aspect of Mass Grave alumni to consort with the worms.
Love it.
You must roll with that.
How are you going to
rhythm.
approach this?
I just I suppose pulling the screen back, as it were, brought something back with me from the grave, so I'm just kind of humming into the dirt, trying to
Right,
summon
yeah,
the
no. I'm just saying that there
Oh,
are
excuse me. with the
onlookers who
impression.
just saw Ursula chuck what looks like a Halloween skull in the middle of this crime scene. And I mean, like, there's decorations on the house next to this, to the now for sale house.
Mhm.
But like, like you're all just sitting there in a Civic and you were just tossed from a Civic. How are you going to, deal with the fact that people are definitely staring at you now?
Well,
They
here's
can't
the
cross
thing.
the tape.
They can't cross the tape. And it's weird, but maybe not call paranormal investigators weird if somebody throws a fake skull in somewhere and then, like classic tapping bird dance, worms just start to pop out of the ground.
I mean, it's regulation like this neighborhood clearly has an HOA because everyone's lawns are the same height. So it's actually a fairly
Oh,
thick
no.
lawn.
That's worse than the cops.
We're all doomed.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
We gotta
Leave
get
me.
Jessica.
Just go. Leave me.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about HOAs?
No, he's
No.
not left behind.
So the grass is fairly thick, so maybe they wouldn't see the worms, but like, are you going to suddenly start, revolving in place while doing a mystic chant, or are you going to try and do something a little more subtle?
I think trying to. I don't think there's a way that I can reasonably do this subtly. I think I land, and then after a half a beat, I tilt forward, and what was once my face just buries like half an inch into the ground.
Okay, so what approach are you going to use?
I think properly this is forceful because I don't think anything else really makes sense.
It was either forceful or it was flashy.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take flashy.
Talk to me, damn it.
I will say that Flash will attract all of the Humies' attention, and that you have been informed, and the reason why you've been kept, in a trunk in the warehouse for the last 4 months is because, one of the Brotherhood's mandates is don't let the Humies know, don't let the normies know that magic exists. So,
Oh yeah,
What are they gonna do? Put you on a shittier list?
exactly.
We're in Texas.
put a padlock on the lockbox. No.
Okay,
Listen,
so there is
can't be
some-
that bad.
there is something worse than having to run the warehouse, and that's being locked in a box in the warehouse. Actually, no, that's still not as bad as having to do inventory.
That's
Better than
fair.
where it was last time. I think we're gonna go with I think it's forceful because I don't think anything else makes as much sense. So I've got for that a 6. And for Mystic Arts, I've also got a 6. So I think I rolled these 2 dice. If I remember how things work correctly.
Yep. So you roll
Doesn't-
2
it doesn't
dice,
work.
and
It
if you're
doesn't
using
work.
an aspect, you can. Are you using an aspect? Are you invoking an aspect, or are you using a stunt that you have?
I am invoking my Mass Grave alumni aspect.
So you can add a d6 for that.
Fantastic. I will, because 3 is bad. So we can only go up from here.
Yes.
That'll take us to a 9. So I still don't know if it works.
Okay. It is not quite. Thanks, Blarlike. It is not quite enough to speak with the worms, even for you. So, after you roll, you can use up to 3 more d6s called
Good.
demon dice. But if you use them, they go in my pool for later after you finish. And actually, with our first roll of the night, ladies and gents, and other, excuse me,
Ladies
Hello.
and gentle them.
my fellow yees and haws, we do actually have a store this evening if you would like to affect this game. I need to turn the bot on real fast. Like, how
Already
does I do it?
on.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Your tech
So-
person is doing his job.
We appreciate you, Lumiere. If you would like, so for $10, you can buy a demon die for my pool. We don't have the robo voice tonight, sorry, folks. But
You get
if you
stuck
like, you
with
can spend.
me.
Yeah. For $10, you can add a demon die to my pool. I promise I will only use it for evil. For $15, you can add a faith die to the player's pool that they can use. They're basically free. Any player can use a faith die from that particular pool. For $20, I believe it's either $20 or $25.
25.
$25, you can add an aspect to the scene. The aspect comes with a free faith dice for the players. Aspects are things about the scene that are true. So if you wanted to be like, the room is now on fire, or more cops, or, there are guns just lying around, whatever, you can add that if you so choose.
The floor is lava.
The floor is lava, and I will work with that. And then finally, for $30, you can choose my new accent. Whenever we meet a new character, that character will have your chosen accent. I can't do everything, but I will do my best for all of them. So.
Well, if nobody disagrees, I'd love to take a demon die to open us up. I really want to consort with them worms.
Let's go for it.
All right,
Let's
so
see what the worms have to say.
we're at 9.
My players
We've-
never use demon dice. I say go for it.
I think they're cowards. We're up to a 12, and I will leave it there.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And one more thing to know. If you use a demon die and you roll a 1 on the demon die, bad things happen immediately.
I hate to disappoint. It was a 3 on dice.
Yeah, I know. And wait. Right. Okay.
Meanwhile,
I can math. I thought you said 14. No, you said 12.
a 1 on a faith dice means you get to keep it.
Yes, a 1 on faith dice means you get to keep it because the thing it added was so negligible it didn't even fucking matter.
Unless it did.
I mean, at that you still get to keep it because it's still a negligible ad at that point.
I'm sure I'll get
so,
one of
yes.
those tonight.
Hmm?
I'm sure I'll get one of those tonight.
We'll see. We'll watch your dice just screw you over so you roll 6s on all your faith dice and like 1s on all your approaches and disciplines. Which, if you roll a 1 on approach or discipline, you may choose to get a faith dice. If you do, I get a demon dice. Putting that out there. So we are working with you to try and fix your shitty dice rolls. That being said, 10 is enough to successfully talk with worms because you are intimately familiar with North American topsoil inhabitants. So yeah, you hit the ground, and honestly, you don't even have to flip over. Ursula threw you hard enough that she's kind of impacted and went to
Kind of
about.
embedded.
Yeah, you're embedded in the ground at this point in time, face down. He's like, so yeah.
Do we need to treat you for a cracked skull now?
No, you impacted a soft surface.
There's already a big hole right in the forehead anyway.
So you impact the soft surface, and you embed maybe 3/4 of an inch.
Lava.
So you are in a position to talk to the worms.
Speak to me, you connoisseurs of decay. Tell me what you have found this night.
I'm
Tasty.
picturing the Sesame Street worms now.
You got anything more than tasty?
Nutrients.
Word. Yeah. How's like the soil health around here? It seems kind of dry, but all the grass is like real green. What's up with that? I imagine you're just doing your jobs.
Watering. Clay.
Yeah. Yeah, word. Do you see where the nutrients came from? Or I guess you would.
Bright light. Food.
Oh. That's nice. Anything I can do for you before I head out?
Clay.
Word. All right, you have a good one now. You hear?
I regret to
And then I
inform you
just-
that worms have only like one brain cell.
No, it's
so-
great. We got
GM,
something out of it.
Uh-huh.
I know what Kathy's doing while the skull is distracting all of the normies.
Okay.
I would also, so I'm not a necromancer, but I would like to try to do a sorcery to try and talk to ghosts if there are any around. Since there were dead bodies, a dead body, there might be a ghost.
Okay. So you're going to use your mystic arts for this?
Yes. Mystic Arts is D10.
Okay.
And I'd like to say this is clever, which would be another D10. Does that fly?
Yeah, because everybody's now looking at the skull firmly embedded in the ground, as thrown by an extremely buff woman from a shitty Honda Civic in like a neighborhood where there should not ever be a shitty Honda Civic.
Here I thought I would be the most conspicuous member of the party. Huzzah.
The real question is, did Ursula get back in the car after she threw the
Ursula
skull?
never got
or is
out.
she just
Never
hanging
left.
out on
Ursula-
the window like this?
Ursula never
She's
got
just
out.
chilling.
Ursula just went and sidearmed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh no, I'm not saying that I'm saying she leaned out the window to sidearm it, not that she actually got out of the car. I'm just saying, did she pull her
she
head
still
back
the
in
same thing.
afterwards, or she's kind of leaning on the car?
Has she dented the car yet by leaning on it?
That's up to Ursula. It's hard to tell with
Yeah.
the shitty Honda
I think
Civic.
there's a little. You can tell where she's been.
I have rolled a 10.
Okay.
Here, ghosty.
There's no ghosties.
No ghosties.
No ghosties.
Rude.
Any kind of mystic energy or any kind of weird magic-y bullshit at all?
There is there's something, but it's not your flavor, and you didn't roll high enough.
Then I guess I'll have to roll a Demondus. For a 13.
Still not quite there.
Oh no, I'll have to roll another Demondus. That is an 18.
Okay, yeah, that's plenty enough. I'm going to write down how many demons
See,
I said.
Merc? See how it works? I roll Demondus and then you have Demondus. See how that works, Merc?
Don't be mean. I'm not the one who doesn't roll demon dice in Demon Hunters. Like,
No one uses them when I'm DMing.
I'm usually running the games.
Anyway, this game.
I haven't played in a Demon Hunter session in like probably the better part of a year. Anyway,
We need to fix that. Anyway, okay.
no, wait, that's a lie. I did. Never mind. I'm sorry. I was thinking that I have pulled too much bullshit as Rian. I just remembered. I'm sorry.
Yes, Rian is brilliant.
Sorry, Rian is a stream gag. I got a hat with a mask on the front that I keep changing out because he's a master of disguise. Anyway,
It was awesome.
so
Anyway,
with 18, yes, there is definitely magic bullshit here. In fact, you can kind of see that there were once upon a time spirits here. Like this whole neighborhood is probably not much older than like the 80s, if that. It's probably even a little newer than that. But like even in that time, there's been enough, fuckery bullshittery that one or two of these houses had like a shade or something, and they don't anymore. That's gone. There's no ghosts. There is comprehensively no ghosts, but there is a large kind of signature. It's a little bit of a mishmash, which is weird to you because people don't normally mix these two. It's a little bit of necromancy and it's a little bit of I forget what school of magic this would be, but like moving things distances. Portal magic.
Portal magic? Or
Yeah.
teleportation?
Space magic. And by space, I mean,
Correspondence. The
ye-
other mage game.
yeah, it's, moving things from one place to the other, dealing with, making two places into one place for a second and then them not. So not necessarily having to do with the stars or anything like that.
Tesseracting.
Yes.
Tesseracting and necromancy. Oh. making two places one and then splitting the back apart again, and maybe the bones are somewhere else. Ew.
Nothing good comes of this.
I think Kathy just says that quietly out loud. Wait. So it's necromancy, but it's also like tesseracty magic, where two parts of space are shoved into one place and then torn apart, and maybe the bones are in the other place. Ew.
So whatever we're looking for is not here, she says to Kathy.
What we're looking for? Well, there's no ghosts. Wait, so Mark just said there's no spirits, but there should be, or like
you can see the kind of imprints where they once were, because ghosts are nothing if not anchored to a place, echoes of a person on a place, basically. So like you can see kind of where those echoes should have been, like the kind of energy signatures they left, but they're not there anymore. There's nothing there.
Okay, does it look like the necromancy that created the piles also banished the ghosts, or just?
It looks more like, now that you're looking at it kind of harder, it looks like the necromancy that dropped the pile, like it was using, like it had fuel from the necromancer who did it, but it looked like it might have also accidentally sucked in any kind of necromantic or undead magic around it to fuel itself.
And those ghosts might be somewhere else now because tesseracting, and
or they might have just been used up. Because the other thing about ghosts is that they don't gain energy over time; they only lose it. Because the person who made the ghost is no longer there to provide the kind of emotional energy that would fuel a ghost. Like ghosts feed off people and things, but if the people and things they fed off of no longer there, then their source of they can only fade.
Okay, there aren't any ghosts. Possibly the ghosts got et by whatever
Did this?
magic did that.
So we know it's magic. We know it's some sort of displacement.
Well, there's magic involved, but it's already two kinds of magic that I haven't seen smushed together before.
Right, but you said one of them is a movement magic, for lack of a better
it's
word.
like portal magic or tesseract kind of teleport a blah blah, and the other is necromancy. I don't know. Well, Cypher Siri,
Hello.
could you please make a map of all the meat pile incidents?
Making a map of sweet pile kisses.
Cypher Siri, can you plot a map of all of the meat pile incidents?
I will make you roll for that one. Zero just came as hearing you.
Okay, what is the roll?
So it would be basically trying to use Cypher Siri.
Okay, so
however you want to force it to work.
So R&D is a D8. It's just, I would say I'm trying. Am I being forceful or careful?
It's up to you how you do it.
I'm gonna say.
Are you hitting the phone?
No, I'm being careful. I'm trying to describe what I want it to do so it does it. So it's 2d8s.
Okay.
That's an 8. I rolled a 1 on my approach die.
Okay.
What is that? I forget what that does.
So you can choose to take a faith dice. If you do, I get a demon dice.
Okay.
You may choose to spend that faith dice immediately to re-roll the bad die if you so choose.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Better. Now it is that's a 5. That's a 12.
Okay. So yes, you get the freaking thing to work finally. Voice commands are always wonky, especially in a car. You don't have to do that much yelling because you're trying to do it carefully and not alert the normies that you're having a meltdown over basically a GPS. But you do get it set out. And it's so all the piles have been in Plano, basically. Mostly east of 75, which are, if I'm remembering this correctly, the east of 75 is the slightly less posh parts of town, but no part of Plano is really terribly shitty. And West Plano is where all the rich people live in the mansions. So
Okay.
the split is about at Highway 75.
Is there any pattern to it other than location?
Yeah.
Not really.
Are they equidistant from a spot? Is it
Yeah.
just sort of broad spread?
I'm triangulating, but with 15 points.
Yeah. So they are spread out. No two are in the same place. It definitely looks, it's not exactly a pattern, but it's that kind of almost pattern you get when you're trying not to make a pattern. You know, like if you told somebody, make a random distribution on a map with a bunch of pins, they would space them out, not equidistantly from each other, but like almost, and there wouldn't be any kind of grouping or anything like that. Even though if you just dropped pins on the map, you would get, you know, groups of 2 or 3 or something like that and things like that. So it's not true random. It definitely looks like someone is trying to be random or was told to be random, but it's not equidistant to any one place that you can tell.
Okay, I say this, so we might be back to someone is just dropping them or teleporting somewhere and dropping them. Because definitely magic happened here.
Yeah. Do we want to go check another location? And while we're doing that, ask the Cypher database if it can try and do the math to figure out to backtrace where they might have come from.
I think the real question is first is if you are going to leave this place, how are you going to get Colonel Jessup back?
I got him. Ursula pries
yeah,
her way out of the back seat and just kind of struts over like
Oh,
she owns
good.
the
Ursula's
place.
already getting him. Okay, yeah. That's,
And dragging her sledgehammer behind her. She says, "Sorry, folks, playing it where it lies." Steps over the police tape and lines up and bah, right back into the car.
Just minor Doppler effect screaming.
You end up in the back seat of the Honda Civic, kind of hard.
The hand reaching
Actually,
around,
like,
reassembling.
So Rigger reaches out and grabs the skull as it comes by, and then just idly tosses it over her shoulder where it lands on the neck. Finally.
Grover reaches up with the tentacle and puts your jaw back in.
Thank you kindly. The worms said there was a bright light when the meat showed up.
Okay.
I also said there's like nice clay deposits around here, but that seems partially irrelevant. I apologize.
Well, I looked at magic-y stuff. There aren't any ghosts here. Like there's less than a normal amount of ghosts. Like something consumed them. And there's like right around that spot, there's a weird smushing together of necromancy and like teleport tesseracty magic. And those two aren't supposed to go together?
Those two are unusual to see together.
It's weird to see those together.
Yeah.
The whole car rocks to the side as Ursula gets back in.
Or, well, I'm gonna fold myself back up into the trunk. I'll be able to hear you.
Just open up the little thing behind the armrest.
Like it's one arm taking bits off and piecemeal throwing them all in.
Making a xylophone noise as it rolls in.
A humorous xylophone noise, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right. So you have him back.
But what if we need to throw you at another crime scene, dude?
Well, Ursula's got. I'll just leave the head on the console. Arm.
Put the head in the center console and
A cup holder. That's what the cup holder for.
Just
Grover-
enough of the spine so it'll stick in.
I think Grover takes a spot next to the stick shift or whatever it is in the middle and grabs the skull, puts it on top. Like, ah. Yes,
Congratulations, Colonel
Grover.
Jessup, you are now a head. I mean, excuse me, a hat.
That's pretty good.
Yes, Grover, you are adorable. Ah.
Hey, Grover, I brought one of the worms back. Do you want it?
Ah. Several mouths start chomping and slathering and happy.
Oh, you are
excited.
just the strangest little dog I ever seen.
It should be noted that you are resting on a throne of eyes.
Eyes and teeth and tongues and tentacles.
Yes,
That's
you are
fine.
being licked.
Ah.
That's fine. It's all good.
Is that a tongue or a
We've all
tentacle?
been there.
Well, either way, you're cleaner than you were 5 minutes ago.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
Oh, Grover's probably licking some of the nutrients off since you were in the pile. You were
Oh,
on
yeah.
the smushy spot. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next. So this was the most recent one.
Right.
Can we head to the second most recent? Is that nearby here, or is that far away in the not so random set of data points?
I mean, it's probably between 6 and 8 miles away, but it's only like 10 to 15 minutes because this is Texas and not Chicago, and you don't have to do 5 and fight every single person on the road for every inch of space you get.
It's 15 minutes of nothing.
It's 15 minutes of,
Strode.
road, yeah. Not 15 minutes of horrible driving decisions by other people that you have to watch out for.
Okay. So are those data points close to each? I have New York City brain, so it does not process distance in a normal suburban way anymore. So
So for Texas, anything that's less than half an hour away is reasonably close.
okay.
Um,
How
so
far away are most of these points from each other?
They are probably between the closest two are like 5 minutes away, which is still a good mile and a half or so.
Yeah.
The furthest one out is probably the furthest one from any of the others is probably a good 20-25 minutes out from the next closest one to it.
Okay. So anywhere from 1 to 10 miles apart.
Depending on
Yeah.
on whether you can get there from here. Because in Texas, sometimes you can't.
That's fair.
There's no road that goes there, and we're in a Toyota.
This would not be an
Honda.
issue if
I'd rather
we
be
were
on
all
a
still
Toyota.
using horses. This would be fine.
But then where would we keep? Well, I mean, you could ride a horse though, right?
You just tuck. I could ride a horse. You could just tuck me in the saddlebags. Horses, unlike cars, are known to walk on their own. So a Halloween decoration in a horse in a group wouldn't look too weird.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I
I'd like
don't-
to imagine that the sweet baby Shoggoth is doing the hand motions and enunciating for me.
Yes, you were being accompanied by unpleasant slurpy noises, but it is doing the motions with some tentacles and some tongues.
I've
And
never had-
occasionally an eyeball, which is weird.
I don't think I've had a collapsible teammate before. I've been on a team with a ghost because Shay
It
achieved
sounds like
their
you're not
final.
trying hard enough. All teammates are collapsible.
You've all got one
if
of
you
me.
try hard enough, yes, yes, we
Does,
are.
does
As the person
Ursula
with the
hold up
sledge-o-matic.
the sledge-o-matic as she says that?
I will say that the sledge-o-matic is does not fit very well inside the Honda Civic, so
No.
the handle is sticking out the window.
So how
Unless
much damage are we?
refuses to tie it to the roof rack.
I was gonna say how many stop signs have we removed with the sledge-o-matic? as we went by?
Bonk, bonk.
Bonk. Yeah.
I assume we created a sunroof somehow, and this is a rental. We are now all further down on the shit list. I assume it's a rental.
No,
This is the
it's
Brotherhood.
not. It's not a rental if it's a 2005.
Yeah,
They
no.
wouldn't give you something that old. It'd have
They
like
do keep
fi-
their rental
five-
fleets rather
it'd be
new.
like 500,000 miles on it if it was a rental.
Yeah,
in
no.
2005.
This was probably obtained from by the Brotherhood for this area, but from one of those shady dealers, $3,000 in cash for a car or whatever.
that they don't ever expect to see again.
Yeah.
Mm.
No service guarantees, no warranties, no nothing like that. Whatever happens to it is your problem.
There's duct tape in the glove box. Do what you got to do. All right. Yeah. So we drive to the next most recent
Okay.
spot.
You are still in suburban hell, and this is a newer area, so there are not as many trees, so there is no shade. There is no shade. The sun is beating down. The police tape is gone by this point. At least you're pretty sure it's gone by this point. There is some police tape up and down the block, but that's the people are also, decorating for Halloween. That's one of the popular ones. Is the caution tape.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's been long enough that this one has been, someone has made a concerted effort to scrub this one out.
Okay.
Can we
So,
can we see the cleaner spot?
Yeah,
One
someone did
spot
take a
is too clean.
Right.
One spot on the sidewalk is in fact too clean. The grass next to it is looking rather bedraggled, like someone turned the power washer on it.
I have seen this before. It is a thing. Okay. So, how we want to do this?
There are no police tape. There are no looky-loos. It's, 1 o'clock. The sun is high overhead. Nobody wants to be outside.
Although it's October, so it's not terrible at this point.
It's not 100 degrees. It's only like 90 degrees. But it is also exceedingly muggy.
Rigger pulls out an umbrella.
I think Jessup is coming out riding the Shoggoth,
Fantastic.
which is just tentacling through.
Hey,
Like,
hold on, Grover. You want to go in the trunk for a second? I got something I want to grab. Yeah. Do you have like an internal pocket that I could stash a handheld weapon temporarily and also perhaps a hand?
Grover turns into a backpack and then turns back into. Oh, yeah. Grover's basically my. If you ever see me with a backpack, it's actually Grover.
Word.
We had to train him to stop eating the cipher phone. Not that it did much good anyway, but yeah. You want to be careful, not to make sure it's something you don't want digested.
I don't know if black powder's terribly good for you. I'm gonna get into the trunk. I'll be with you in a moment.
He's eaten bullets before. It's fine.
Yeah, word. I'd like to walk. Yeah, buddy. You're all right.
So you
It's
pop
like,
the trunk
wait,
from the inside because you can still do that in a 2005 Honda Civic.
It's fully formed, coming out.
Grover is doing the Shoggoth equivalent of because it heard you have gunpowder.
All right. I got like an old powder horn on my hip. All right. All right, good. All right. Come on. I'm padding inside my rib cage.
Oh, this is good.
He's basically spreading out tentacles, kind of, so he's hanging there like a big, gross, slimy web of eyes and tentacles. And he sneezes because he just ate some black powder.
Oh yeah. Give him a little more once he's inside.
And
Pull the shirt
now
back
we
down.
have a skeleton with tentacles coming out of the chest.
Yep.
This is not alien at all.
That's fine. I just put my shirt back on.
Grover, you always make the best of any Demon Hunters team. Yeah. Last time you merged with someone else's cell phone, it was interesting.
And then you had to convince the salesman whose cell phone it was that it was not not a Shoggoth phone.
The tentacles are a new feature. Anyway, yeah. So, Shoggoth. So Grover has a new ride. Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna hang out around the too clean spot and see if I can. So there won't be any blood or guts or anything to really analyze.
Right.
But I could still look around and see if there is magic. Though this place is new, so there probably wouldn't be any ghosts here yet anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
We might
First,
confirm
gonna
that they're all
look
coming
around,
in
see
in
if
the
she
same
spots
way.
any like security cameras
Oh,
on any of the
Okay.
houses nearby.
All
Do I
right.
see any
Let's see
ring
here.
doorbells?
oh God.
Yeah, they definitely ring doorbells.
This is far too clever for Ursula. So that's my D4. What?
You're remembering that time someone yelled at you for.
Nine.
Someone yelled at Ursula once for sledgehammering their front door because they had a Ring camera on it.
It talked back.
So you got a 9, and you're investigating mundanely, and you're doing it with magic. Anybody else doing any investigations?
I was actually going to do the same investigation that Ursula is, which is I see that really obnoxious blue circle on the door, and I go, hey Kathy, can I borrow the cipher phone?
Before you even start, I just hand you the phone, please.
And I start just typing in a query to try and hack into the Ring database and pull up cameras.
Okay, roll it.
RM got good at technology real quick. At the beginning of the session, she didn't know what Reddit was.
I still don't know what Reddit is in personal or professional life. We'll try and do this.
It's 4chan's newest cesspool.
Sorry, you get the glasses off.
So does that make it 5chan?
No, it makes it 8chan.
8chan.
Although 8chan came before 4chan. I'm gonna try and do it sneakily because I'd rather not get caught.
Okay.
When Cipher software gives a +2.
No, only when you're accessing the Brother database.
Oh, database. Okay.
Yeah, you have to use the database for that one.
And covert ops is so not the thing. We're gonna do research and develop.
Yeah, covert ops.
I guess I could covertly attempt to.
Especially because you're trying to not get caught.
Okay, yeah,
Hello, I'm Amazon and want to spy on your family.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So I will do covert ops and sneakily attempt to find my way into the Ring. Oh, this is a terrible idea.
The Ring.
That is a 9.
Okay. It's not good enough to get in the database for Alexa.
Have a demon die.
All right.
Demandus.
Yes.
That's a 4 for a 13.
Okay, that is good enough. And then Kathy, you're gonna roll magic.
Magic. For a 12.
Okay. And Jessup, you're just looking around the place. Do you want to make a roll?
I'm keeping a watch. I found some orange electrical tape to put on the end of my cap and ball revolver so it doesn't get questioned during Halloween season.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with Ursula because she made her roll first. Ursula, you are not a technology person. It's not like electricity is bad. Thomas Edison was a witch. No, it's not your bag. So you kind of see the obnoxious Ring doorbells because they glow an obnoxious shade of blue. But like beyond that, you're like, yeah, this place is probably, this feels like the kind of banal evil of a suburban area that would definitely put security cams on its front doors. So you go wandering around and you just find some more houses with Halloween decorations and, some really cool skeletons.
Cooler than ours with the Shoggoth Center? The
not cooler
Center?
Not cooler. One of them's wearing
Takes
a Santa
a lot for us to
outfit.
consider a skeleton cool.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. There's a skeleton wearing a Santa outfit in October.
He's in a pot being boiled by a couple of other skeletons.
Okay, that's okay. I'm okay with this. If it was just on the lawn, it might have been.
You find a skeleton. You find a plastic skeleton flamingo. Just your basic.
Texas. It's Texas.
Yeah.
Just remember, it's Texas.
It's so Texas. So you hack the Ring cameras and that kind of stuff, and what you get is, it's a pretty average neighborhood. You fast forward through all the boring shit, like people going in and out of houses and that kind of thing, and like you, with your many, many years of experience, are like, oh yeah, that person's having an affair with the person inside that house or whatever. But like, it's nothing's important to you. Very late at night, about 4 days ago or something like that, the cameras briefly bug out in the nearest two houses, and then 2 houses beyond that, they register a flash of light. And when all the cameras come back and the light is gone, there's a pile. It looks like a pile of meat chunks, like someone took a meat cleaver and chopped something up, and then just kind of.
I grab that as a clip, and go, okay, well, here's what it looks like, and then I have like a 4-box where they can see all of the angles at the same time because
Yeah.
efficiency.
Yep. And Kathy, you get once again that that old black magic. No,
That
necromancy
weird-
mixed with spatial magic. It's weird. It's a weird mixture. And yeah, there are no kind of empathic footprints of ghosts in any of the
Yeah.
houses around. There's nothing there. There probably never was anything there because these houses are rather new.
Okay.
Anywhere between 10 and 20 years old.
So based on what I can see and what Rigor Mortis brought up on our phone, not my phone anymore. I don't.
Our phone.
Our phone.
It's the Scythe. I can't do it anyway.
So the bright light I think that it's too specific probably for me to ask, like, did the bright light happen like over the pile of stuff or next
Well, you
to
should
it?
be able to see it now.
Okay.
The in the movie in the film where the cameras that didn't freak out registered the flash of light. It lasted for longer than a camera flash, but not a full second. And then it was gone, and like the stuff was moving a little bit, but not like it was still alive, but like it had been dropped and was finishing settling, but like clearly not from a high height, nothing like that.
Okay. Did any camera get a direct look at it, or was it more those are the cameras that fritzed out, and the ones nearby saw the flash of light that was fritzing out the other cameras? So kind of.
Yeah, anything that was close enough to get a good view of it went haywire.
Mm.
Was I able to tell from the ring data, did it lose connectivity or did the device go offline?
It looked like the device was feeding junk. Like it was still a feed from the device, and the device was still on, but what it was seeing was
cannot comprehend wingdings.
Not something it was physically designed to see, for lack of a better word.
So it gives the digital equivalent of wingdings.
Yeah.
I don't know how to process this.
It's why, it gave static for the same reason why your funny bone hurts when you hit it, even though it's not, that kind of nerve. It's because your brain goes sudden and lots of input on a nerve that should not be getting that much input.
Right.
It's the default response.
Okay. I would like to use a stunt.
Okay.
I have a stunt called Knows Too Much.
Okay.
Because I'm a professional research librarian, once per session I can blah, blah, blah. If there are no knowledge aspects on the table, I create one with 3 free invokes on it.
Okay.
I would like it to be portal magic, because I think, team, does that seem what we're dealing with? Bright light portal magic?
I live in a box, man.
Seems like it. Sounds.
Ursula comes wandering back with an armload of ring cameras. Just throws them on the ground. Says, look what I found.
Yay!
Somebody say something about portals?
I'm always the team mom. Thank you, Grover.
Oh, sorry. Do you want him back?
Because he is like every time he makes noise, he makes Colonel Jessup's shirt kind of bulge in really uncomfortable ways.
There's probably just one tentacle out between the buttons with just an eye on it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Wow. No, it's okay. He needs to socialize.
Word.
And no offense, but I suspect so do you since you've been in a box for a while. I am the team mom. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so I now know too much about portal magic.
Okay.
What would I have to do to reopen the portal that was here some days ago? Was it days?
It was
Or-
Days. Days was here. This was, I believe, it was said 3 days ago or possibly 4 days ago. It was like late at night between the fourth day and the third day.
Because Chris, understands we have 2 combat characters. And
Yep.
a portal, if we could open a portal directly to something to hit with a hammer,
Yes.
or whatever rigor mortis does, that could be very fun. And Kathy, being the team mom, kind of has the same feeling.
Okay.
Let's see if we can open a door to trouble, and then
Okay.
throw our trouble at the other trouble.
I crave violence, Kathy.
All right.
Mom can tell that the kids want violence, and maybe it's time they had some.
Okay.
So I would like to
Your-
reopen the portal
Okay.
or figure out how.
All right. You have magic. You are kind of magic, and you're not exactly unversed with opening portals, especially because you've kind of like summoning the great old ones brings them to this plane, which does kind of involve portals a little bit.
But yeah, she's never summoned one here. Oh no, she has, because Mini Shoggoths, yes.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
opened portals to other dimensions before by accident,
yes.
sometimes on purpose, but I did not practice that Yellow Rose of Texas tune per game, but we'll see.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to open a dimension gate to there.
No, yeah. Releth is not exactly where you want to go. Probably. I mean, this doesn't smell like any great old ones.
Yeah, I think if this were Cthulhu hijinks or Yog Sothoth hijinks, she'd know it already.
Yeah, you'd be much more familiar with that. So,
Yeah.
So you can do off the cuff magic. I believe the DC for that would be 15,
Okay.
if I recall my magic correctly. Ritual magic, off the cuff magic. Okay. You will have to use either flashy or quick, but there's nobody out at this point in time except maybe the person who called the cops on Ursula for stealing their Ring camera.
That'll keep them busy for hours. These are Texas cops.
No,
Murders-
it's
murders
Plano.
you-
They'll be here in 5 minutes.
Yeah. You really
Murders- I mean, who the heck cares about the murders? But someone stole all of those ring lights.
Do you think if I shot one of the lights, we might delay him a bit?
No, you make them come faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
do.
mean, it's Texas, though. They don't really mind guns here. Do they?
No, but firing a gun in the middle of this neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this
It's more about
neighborhood, they
this
do kind of
neighborhood.
mind them.
Quick is a D8, so I'll do that. Quick is better than my flashy because I have been a librarian for too long. Mystic
Fair.
Arts. And I have 3 free invokes on Knows Too Much, so I'll use a D6 from that.
Okay.
And you said I need a 15?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I can't think of something to sing the portal open, so I don't think I can use my concept. Since I used my knowledge stunt for the invoke, can I use my discipline? I have a God's damned master of library science.
I would go with that because you have a
Okay.
God's damned.
God's damned. Very damned. Okay.
Very, very damned. Various gods.
That's a bunch of dice. Roll a bunch of dice. Please don't suck. 4, 9, 13. God damn it, dice. And they're 2s, not 1s. So all right. So Kathy starts and she's muttering a version of portal opening magic that she knows that will not lead to the Shoggoth dimension, but is like kind of reverse engineering. So she's speaking. Did I write down the name? Nope, this isn't the one from the notes. I forget the name of the language. It's not actually Chthonic or Elder Speak. It's something else because I read all this. I researched because I'm also a librarian, really. And then it kind of doesn't quite get there. So she reaches down into the demon dice pool, and I roll a demon dice for a 6. So that is a 19.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you'll get what you need. So portal magic. Yes, you are familiar with summoning portals. You don't generally summon portals to the same dimension. You're usually going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Capital
So
somewhere, capital else.
I'm basically trying to reverse engineer the portal that was already here as I've been looking at their magic. And so there's necromancy and there's teleporting.
So the way this thing worked is that it didn't actually open a portal. It made two places the same place for a brief instant. And then when the magic ended, they snapped back to where they should be because the reality doesn't like to bend like that.
Right.
So what you do is instead you kind of like you reach for a place that feels like the one in front of you, basically. And you get the portal. It's not like I said, it's not a portal, but it does for just an instant. There is a bloody wooden table with very shackles, arm and leg shackles, and there's like blood all over it and that kind of stuff. And it's there for an instant, and like there's a like for some reason the sidewalk is now also like linoleum flooring for some godforsaken reason. There's a grill nearby, and like the whole place smells like an abattoir. And then it isn't anymore because it was never really designed to last. But left behind is a flyer for the Colin Creek Mall.
Okay, because I was going to ask, could I command Grover to jump through it? Just say Grover dinner.
Well, it's not I threw so much as they're the same, and then they weren't the same.
Okay,
it's like it's not like you were sudden like
it's not a wormhole.
An area of two places overlapping in a way that reality is not meant to do. Like it doesn't really hurt your head because you're kind of used to things that are not meant to be that way. Yeah. But the rest of you might get like a nosebleed or something.
The physics are familiar to me.
What was the flyer?
The flyer is for the grand reopening of the Colin Creek Mall.
Okay. Well, I like a lead.
Okay. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I'm used to physics that aren't supposed to work. But I've never seen magic that's not this kind of magic although also this is okay. Yeah,
yeah.
I pull out the phone. Cypher Siri. What is the name of the mall again?
Colin Creek Mall.
Colin Creek?
Yeah, Colin. I think.
Cypher Siri, please show us the route to the Colin Creek Mall.
Route plotted, Colin Creek Mall. Approximate arrival time, 25 minutes.
Okay, so it's in the area. Is it sort of centrally located to what we're...
Yeah, how does it look like?
Can you plot it on the map of all of the other...
I hold it out to Rigor Mortis because she's had a better luck talking to the phone than me.
So you've already plotted the map of them, and so like it is kind of like a square-ish area. Mm-hmm. The Colin Creek Mall would be in the lower southwest quadrant of that. West being a strong term, it's pretty centrally located actually, but it's on the south side. It's definitely like below the midpoint. Okay. Pretty far. Like there's nothing more south, like there's not too much more south than it.
Okay.
There's like one or two that are more south than it, but not many.
So if this is the area of all of our crime scenes, it's kind of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little off center because the true center is actually 75. But yeah,
Hmm.
Collin Creek Mall is just off 75.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to complete our suburban excursion. We must go to the mall.
Figures.
Still don't. All right. Fantastic.
You don't want to know.
I'd be
All
more
right.
cranky about that as a New Yorker, except I live in Queens.
First,
I
Bill
heard
realizes
you-
that we're getting closer to being able to hit stuff, so she's already in the car,
Yeah.
like slamming on the
Alright.
side, like, come on,
Awesome.
come on.
Okay,
Now you're definitely up dent.
okay.
All right, so you all pile into the Honda Civic and you drive off to the mall. And you get there, and
Well,
it's
so one question while we're driving, I will try to ask phone Siri, like, what are there any organs or parts that have been missing from each pile of meat specifically, aside from the bones?
it takes rigor mortis actually typing in the question, because once again your phone is not behaving poorly.
Behaving exactly how you expect it to.
Yeah. And no, all the organs are present. All the
Okay. Hmm.
except for the bones, which are technically an organ, I guess.
They do make stuff in there.
Yeah, they're bone marrow and stuff is important. Yeah,
Hmm.
your bone marrow is
Yeah.
where your red blood cells come
Oh
from.
no, I know that. It's just wondering what they would do with the bones, not unless they were unless Jessup is about to go up in rank because now he has an army.
I will I shall regret. I'm gonna be corporal again.
I have to ask the most important question. Is there a spirit of Halloween at this mall?
You do see a familiar orange sign as you pull up to this mall. It's actually one of the corner stores. Surprising.
Well, that's what was empty.
Yeah, I was to say that was the JCPenney
Mm. Or the Sears.
or the Sears.
I will say that this
Montgomery
mall,
Ward.
like the part, like there are acres of parking lot outside of it, and the parking lots are reasonably full. Like they come at least three-quarters.
Yeah.
All of them are at least three-quarters full.
There's nothing else to do here.
Not wrong.
And people are going in and out of the stores.
When
You know,
did
the
it
main entrance-
reopen? On the flyer, because it was a reopening flyer, right?
Mhm.
When did it reopen?
About a week and a half ago,
Okay.
Right about the
Uh,
time that everything started.
strangely enough.
Okay.
Um,
Rigor Mortis, can you ask the phone Siri why it closed? That might not be as relevant as the splats, but
it probably is actually. It might be useful. I ask it.
Okay. There are actually 4 other malls in the area. There's Firewheel Mall, which is not terribly far. There's North Park Mall, which is extremely fancy. There's the Frisco Mall up on Gaylord, which is extremely fancy. And then there is the Golden Memories Mall, which is a bit far away. It's in Louisville, but it's not a terrible drive from here. Which, even for a southern state, that's a lot of malls per capita. And it just, from the articles that you can see, rigor mortis, it just looks like that there were too many malls, and the Collin Creek was the oldest, so people were just kind of migrating to the other malls because they were newer and fancier and had a
Okay.
carousel.
Why did it reopen?
Why did it reopen? There is no. There's just a reopening article. It's like, oh, the Collin Creek Mall will reopen on this date. And that one is dated like 2 days before the reopening.
What stores are there?
or restaurants.
There's basically anything you expect to see in a mall. There's, Kay's Jewelers. There's a Wetzel's Pretzels. There's, the food court's got a Sbarro's. There's a Hot Topic. There's a Spencer's Gifts. There's Victoria's Secret. There's a Bed Bath, not Bed Bath, Bath and Body Works.
Is there a Panda Express?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Grover. If we get this done, you can have Panda Express.
Yep. And the corner stores are like Macy's and Dillard's and
Okay. Is there like a butcher shop?
No,
Or
it's not
like-
butcher shop, but one of the corner stores is a Spirit of Halloween. Or at least it's got the big orange sign up.
I feel like pandas would be less good for carrying mail than ponies. I've never met a panda.
I mean,
They seem
the-
slow.
yeah, but I mean, if it's a jungle area, pandas are kind of more equipped for that than horses.
Listen, unless there's been a massive ecological shift, I do not expect there to be many jungles in Texas since I was here last.
Oh no, Panda Express is a really crappy Chinese restaurant.
Word.
It's fast food, but Chinese food. So faster Chinese food, and
Oh God.
it's
What?
We have a donation from Keen. Have a little faith, everyone. So one faith die. And we have a donation from Blarlock. All of those stores that were just described by Merc don't exist anymore. Because there is only Spirit Halloween. They're all Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, I will say that the aspect is major Halloween presents.
so there's 3 of them. In 3 of the stores on one side, it's just Spirit Halloween.
There's
Taking
a
up
big-
like a Sears, a J.C. Penney's.
There's a big orange sign up there. Yep.
All right, gang. We're splitting up and looking for butcher's tables in the Spirit Halloweens.
And shackles and other skeletons.
All right. Well,
Looking for more
whoever's
skeletons.
Real
investigating,
ones.
roll me some investigations. How are you
Uh,
investigating this place?
Clever and mystic arts. I'm gonna look for traces of tesseract magic.
Okay.
And since I still have 2 more invokes on portal magic, I'm gonna use one of those.
Okay.
Um,
While she's rolling that, I'm gonna go sneaky covert ops again because that's what Raker
dun,
does.
dun, 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 dun.
You know,
Well,
hoods
they're
up,
do-
and we're disappearing into the the darkness, as it were.
Okay. And the other 2?
Ursula's
I would
going
like
in loud and fast, just shouting for the manager.
Oh,
You're-
so Ursula's
gonna
going
Karen up in this bitch. Woohoo!
Didn't you know never to go full Karen?
I don't. Ursula does nothing by halfways, sir.
That's
Ma'am.
true.
Sorry, ma'am.
I would like to use clever and my specialty discipline, bag of bones, to quickly and easily identify other real skeletons.
Okay.
I'm an expert. I know a thing or two.
Okay.
Do you know how much harder it is to roll with this sleeve? Jeez,
That sounds like a you problem.
it kind of is.
If you roll it up properly, it'll stay up.
Sweater paws.
There is no rolling these sleeves. It doesn't do anything. They just fall back.
Sports ball strikes again.
Sports ball and losing, 100 pounds.
Actually,
I thought you were going to say losing a bunch of games. Anyway.
I wonder if Ursula creates an aspect of Karen Hammer, and then we can all use that to help our investigations because no one's paying attention to us.
I accept that.
I'm going to take a roll on that aspect.
Well, no, first Ursula would have to create.
I gotta make it
the
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
is
will
a-
say there is an aspect of many Halloween, lots of Halloween stores with one free invoke on it because that's what Blarlight bought.
Okay.
So I rolled a forceful social engineering and also my aspect questionable interrogation tactics.
Okay.
And I have a stunt because I've seen this done on TV. I get a +2 when I forcefully create an advantage by intimidating a person of interest. So I'm marching there screaming for the manager, just ranting about, I don't know, what I've got my costume and it doesn't fit. How do you not carry something that will fit this slender frame?
Okay. And what'd you
It
get on
had 2 sleeves. That's offensive.
it?
I got a 15 total.
Okay, so that's 3 free invokes on that. So y'all gonna get one free invoke from Karen it up.
Well, I'm going to use an invoke of Karen in it up.
No, not Karen inging it up. It's Karen it up. Like tearing it up, but Karen it up.
More puns. Oh wait, this isn't my channel, so I can't just do exclamation point puns. I'll just have to type it manually in chat. Like a Luddite.
If it's good, I'll steal it. I don't need to steal that. I could type that bastard. I can steal it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're rolling.
I got a 14.
Okay. By the way, Ursula, you are currently berating a person in a cheap polyester shirt with a crooked gray tie and a lanyard with a name badge on it. You know, something that was
Not
clearly
the first
printed.
time.
Yeah.
And are they older than 16?
They are somewhat older than 16. They are clearly a minimum wage worker. Not quite minimum wage because they are the manager of the store nominally.
Well,
I
they're
rolled
making
a-
8 in an hour.
I rolled a 23.
Okay.
Physics be damned. Oh wait, no,
Physics
that's we don't have to use that rule, but
We'll see. So
Jessup got a 5.
okay.
he gets
Just
confused.
is
there-
and
there are
talking to a
no-
plastic
I was going to
skeleton.
say, there-
There's
Okay,
another
okay, so-
cowboy skeleton, and I am desperately trying to ask it out.
Okay.
Jessup has an existential crisis. Like, what if I'm the plastic skeleton?
So with a 14, rigor mortis, you notice that the large orange sign, they went full cheap on this bastard because that is misspelled. It says Spitted Hollow Men.
It's a phishing scam.
Something. It's either that or they just really fucked up the sign.
it's
Like
not,
it's in the right font and it's the right colors, but it doesn't say Spirit Halloween.
well, I'd say that's the one to start with.
And then we'll go to Corporal Jessup. And Jessup, you rolled a 5. But the thing is that you do have the stunt, and you are kind of familiar. There are actually like quite a number of real skeletons in that Halloween store, hanging in with the plastic ones. Like you get confused the first couple of times, but then you feel real bone. And you're like, oh, you go click clack instead of thud thud. You know.
I'm going to remember you for spare parts later.
Grover
And-
reaches out of the shirt and licks one.
Kathy.
Yes. I left Grover with the corporal
Yes.
because I want to see what happens.
So, Kathy, you're searching for portal magic and you're searching for what you saw before, and you are nearly struck blind by how much necromantic magic is spread over this entire building. Like the entirety of the mall is just coated in necromantic magic.
So, like, are there zombies here?
There are no zombies. Like there's
No
just
zombies.
like the music is kind of spooky. Like it's trying to be spooky for Halloween or whatever. And I mean,
Dun, 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 dun,
like
dun.
it's a better class of spooky than normally you'd hear in like on like Muzak. Normally you'd hear like Thriller is really top tier Muzak kind of Halloweeny shit. But this is actually like actual proper Baroque kind of symphonic stuff
Oh, okay.
going on. Instead of the shitty Halloween remixes or whatever, or the Scooby-Doo theme song stuck on deep for 4 hours.
So it's like
Yeah.
vampire music.
That wasn't from personal experience, was it?
No, there was honestly, given the quality of music at that store normally, that was actually one of the better days
Oof.
because I was stuck in a Toys R Us, and like the shitty
Ah.
Disney remixes ruled the day, and those are so much
Oh.
worse than 4 hours of the 30-second Scooby-Doo theme song. But so yeah, the corner store with the large orange sign on it has also got a little bit of portal magic. Like you can kind of see it shading your eyes from the
Ow.
glare of necromantic magic all over this place.
So I can smell like a little bit of rose perfume amidst 18,000 gallons of pine sol.
Basically.
Ow.
Like, you've succeeded.
Okay.
You succeeded a lot, which unfortunately means that you can really see all this shit.
I have a necromancy migraine.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you're seeing it in your nightmares for the next week.
I mean, that would actually be a step down from my nightmares, so
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Right.
Because
that's
you
why
succeed
you
with so much
roll.
style, I will give you a free aspect of Necromol.
Taste the necro.
Taste the Necro. There you go. Taste the Necro with one free invoke on it.
Uh,
And it is a scene aspect, not a personal one. So once the
Okay.
invoke is gone, it does not go away. Just like this necromantic magic is definitely not going away.
do I get any sense from my ridiculous roll that either the corporal or rigor mortis are in danger here? Because they are necromancy, and this is a lot of necromancy.
Honestly, they
What the-
probably feel, like
Feeling good.
feeling like honestly the amount
Right.
of like it's a pretty even layer all over this place. It doesn't seem to be
Okay.
like it's definitely the source is definitely the big corner store with the orange sign on it. The misspelled orange sign on it.
And what did the sign say again?
Spitted Hollow Men, which given the spacing and the font looks almost right.
Which kind of sounds like what's happening to people is they're hollowed and then spit out.
Wow.
Yeah.
More
That checks out.
puns!
With that ridiculous roll, you actually do see an inscription. Like when you get closer to the door, you actually see an inscription above the doorway. This is why we might not be friends at the end of this.
Oh, no.
One store to rule them all, one store to find them, one store to bring them, and one store to bind them.
So one store to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Yes, and then the back rooms bind them.
I'm the dork queen of the outer boroughs. I approve of this inscription. There's a reason Kathy's regular team is Omega 42. Like, she's like, what language is it in? Is it in Elvish? Or
Like it
Mordor?
wants to be Elvish, but like you're a librarian, you've seen real Elvish, and you kind of just nerdy enough to speak some, Kenya or whatever.
like,
This is clearly
there's,
just
like,
English
Tolkien-
this is English in the Elvish alphabet.
Okay, well I know what that, but I've seen like Tolkien Elvish alphabet, and I've also seen actual Elvish because Brotherhood bullshit. But
Yeah.
this is the Tolkien version. So at
This
least
is a Tolkien font. This is English in the Tolkien font. That's like it's trying to be.
okay. So it's
yeah.
not even the letter for letter; it's just the font.
No, it is letter for letter, but it is English in Elvish characters.
It's English sounded out in Elvish. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm also a huge dork. If you haven't noticed.
Yes.
Well, at least. Well, the dorkiness in me acknowledges the dorkiness in this ridiculous necromancer, but he really has. Whoever they are, they have to stop, killing people. So I guess I'll have to take them out. Oh well.
Yeah,
so
you just let us know when you need us. We're just kind of hanging out.
basically you see Kathy walk up and kind of go, ow. That's a lot. Okay.
Oh my eyes.
Ow,
You
ow.
good?
Yeah. There's necromantic magic here.
I think I
Ow.
still got some Coke pills from my time in the service if you need something for the headache.
Ursula notices that and
Lot-
just,
Laudanum for the
and just
headaches.
cold cocks the manager.
He's just a dude. He's just a hiree. You cold cock him. He's just a dude.
Do you cold cock him with the sledge?
Is
I
it
mean,
with,
I was holding it.
He's
I
not
mean,
alive
if it's-
anymore.
if it's cold cocking, wouldn't it have to be with like the handle?
Like
Either
you
way.
either hit him with the handle
I'm
or you
so
just punched him with it still in your fist. So like you didn't actually hit him with
Yeah.
the sledge end. So it's not meat paste. It is just a dude laid out straight out on the floor, unconscious.
I mean, you could also just, hit him with the face of it instead of the end.
Oh,
Always
That's up to
to
Ursula.
knock someone out very quickly.
Ursula is extremely familiar with how to knock someone out very quickly.
I'm curious to see who comes out to collect the body.
He is clearly out, and as soon as you punched him, like the person who was behind the register, clearly on their phone and not giving a shit, looks up and starts filming.
Rigor is still being sneaky and is trying not to be seen. It is
Okay.
going to go up behind this person who starts filming and steal the phone.
Okay, with the 14, you steal the phone. They kind of
Oh,
stare at their.
okay. I'll keep my 14. I'm okay with this.
You keep your 14 because, like you just noticing the sign is misspelled is a little bit of a waste of a 14.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you take their phone and they stare their hands stupidly for a couple seconds before they like check down like they dropped it or something.
Okay, well, there's confusion. Kathy is going to ill-advisedly go looking for a back room that might have a murder chamber in it.
Okay.
Rigor's actually going to look through this person's phone and see if
Look for the murder chamber.
see if they've taped any of this murder because they're here and they clearly pulled out the phone the second something interesting happened.
Yeah, so you find a couple of like Insta stories of two people duking it out over the only reasonably sized costume in the store or whatever. Like two people wanted the same mask or something like that, like or there is one particularly memorable one that is a girl who is mad at her boyfriend for him cheating on her, and they're having it out in this store of all places for some godforsaken reason. There's no murder sprees, but you do find a text message between the owner of the phone and someone labeled boss, asshole, who is like, yeah, it's your basic, hey, this person canceled, we need you to come in, or, everybody has to work extra hours next week,
I'm starting to wonder how many of the victims worked here.
So there's nothing suspicious on the phone. Like, this is clearly just a minimum wage employee who is now underneath the desk trying to look under the counter for their phone, which they think they may have dropped underneath.
Is this person male or female?
This person's a male.
Okay. I'm going to go find a Princess Peach costume, and I'm going to slide the phone into the Princess Peach costume.
Okay, you do so. They are still looking for it.
They will be looking for a very long time.
Up until they get somebody to call or something. I don't know. But, so, Kathy, you're looking for evil.
Yeah, yep,
If Kathy would allow, I would like to follow.
yes.
Yeah, I'm following also because I think that's the direction that things to hit are
I mean,
going.
I think we're all following.
Word.
Rigor is just following in the shadows and not,
Okay.
At this point, I asked Grover to detach from his riding chassis that he likes so much.
Oh, I feel so live.
So he's a little disappointed, but also worried. Mommy's having a migraine, and he's like, "Oh," and he just sort of tumbles out. And she figures we're in a Halloween store; it won't be so bad. And she kind of reaches, and kind of has one tentacle out, kind of like a dog lead. And Grover's just gonna roll towards where he smells the murder room, because Grover has been excited about getting to eat human flesh at some point today, because there was so much of it around. And, those humans clearly don't need it anymore. And we're like, we didn't go to the morgue. So, there's a murder room here. So I would like to roll. I think this is clever mystic arts and using my stunt tentacles bind the galaxy together.
Okay, because you're making Grover do it for you.
Add +2 to cleverly summon and or command minions spawned of horrors from beyond to do my bidding.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not like a dog. It's like, what are those things? Like it's like a little kid's
Rolly duck or whatever.
Yeah, rolly duck. But it's a shoggoth on a leash.
It's a hedgehog rolling.
Yeah.
That's the best sound of the night. It really is.
And can I use my invoke for taste the necro?
Necro smell.
I would assume either he can smell it too, or it's like a D&D familiar. I'm like, this is what it smells like or tastes like. And I don't think the portal this has nothing to do with portal magic. So
Not really.
Yeah. Is there another invoke left on? Oh no, Ursula's with us now. So although
Yeah.
there is a body, or there is an unconscious person somewhere not watching. I'll just start with these 3 dice. Oh wait, I can use a second faith, one of my faith dice for emotional support mini shoggoths.
Yes, I will accept
Yes, I
that.
can. 9, 18.
Okay. So, I mean, it could be I mean, well, I guess you wouldn't really get anything more for that. You get a free aspect if you get, physics be damned, but
Well, I already got one for the last one.
that's fair.
So and I used it immediately.
So Grover, sniff, 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 like the world's most disturbing floor mop. And kind of wends his way around through, and he stops at a display. It's not a back room, but it is a fairly large display. It's one of the, like the center thing of animatronics or whatever. And so one of them is kind of like the Tunnel of Horrors, and there's like an employees only thing in front of it. Do not touch the exhibit, please. These are for display only or whatever. And he leads you past that and around that and through the little tunnel of screaming things, because you get to a certain point and then suddenly like eyes flink on and speakers scream above you, because this is it's a Halloween gimmicky thing from
Are
Halloween.
they actually speakers or are they something else?
They're speakers. They're tinny.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
although at that point Grover screams back happily because he thinks that it wants to make friends.
So you
It's
get
the
to
most
that.
cheerful, horrifying scream you've ever heard.
Like you hear somebody else scream from another part of the store because they're not expecting that. But
Hi, how you doing? I keep going.
But
Later
so you get through that and you find an escalator, because this is one of those 2-story stores, but the Halloween store is only in the first one.
Okay, Grover, don't get caught in this escalator, please. Keep the tentacles in.
Oh God, a Shoggoth elevator, escalator. Pardon me. It's moving stairs, yeah. So
Like
you ride the
Mallrats.
stairs up, and as you go up, you all start to smell blood. Like there's actually a surprising, like it's exactly halfway up the stairs you start smelling it, and the smell hits you like a truck. So there was probably something on the stairs to keep the smell from going down them.
Like physically or magically?
Magically, probably.
Okay. Grover gets really excited and starts pulling forward like a little terrier with tentacles. Tentacle terrier.
Blah, 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 blah. But so you all get up there and you find, it's you've seen necromancy shit before. Like there are some great old one symbols mixed in with it, but it's mostly like pentagrams and nasty oozing, like smeared blood diagrams designed to trap and hold the energy of dying and the dead.
So it's legit magic, but kind of boring.
It's legit magic, but it's like so the Brotherhood warehouse contains an infinite amount of any mundane object, right?
Yes.
But they only have specific objects that are magical, like the Golden Fleece or something like that. There's only one of those.
Yeah.
So magic books tend to be the things you only find one of, because they are in addition to showing magic, they are also inherently magical.
Mm-hmm.
For the good guys. For the bad guys, if you don't care about where you get your power from, you don't necessarily need to empower the books, so you can just print out as many grimoires and just, pamphlets that describe how to get power by doing heinous things to other people, especially by the dozen. So like this is like it's cookie cutter evil. It's necromancy. It's real magic, but it's also like magic for unimaginative people. Like this is just this is power for a purpose, but it's like power isn't the end goal. Like getting more power isn't the end goal or something like that. It's power to get power, but it's like there's no drive, there's no ambition. This isn't ruling the world kind of shit. This isn't someone who's devoted themselves to magic. This is someone who found a book and decided to use it.
This is fucking around,
So
and they are about to find out.
Yeah.
This is a script kitty.
This is a script kitty. This is copying and pasting someone else's homework.
Script kitty.
This is a necromantic script kitty. There is nothing original about this.
Okay. Do we see anything that would suggest where this idiot is?
You see like all of the blood drawn illustrations, the pentagrams in like blood and whatever, all the symbols and like chalk and other icky things. They
Chalk,
are,
how awful.
huh?
Chalk and other icky things. I'm like, oh, chalk.
Well, I meant of icky things other than blood, but like this stuff is set out like someone who's just like, okay, so the book says this, and we're just gonna put it here, so we're just gonna put it here for no, like they didn't really care how it meshed or whatever. They just like, okay, we need to put this and this and that and the other, and then off to the side you see like the most generic IKEA coat hanging set, like on the just like drilled into the drywall. It's got 4 robes hung on it. And there's a 5th hook that's empty.
Well,
So it's a cult of assholes. Okay. Hey, Grover. How much of the blood is human? Well, he starts licking it up. How much of it is human? Slurp, slurp.
All the fresher stuff is human. Like the oldest stuff is pig.
Okay.
So they practiced.
Kind of, huh?
They practiced.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have
Well,
anything
that's
human to start out with.
Yeah.
Had to start somewhere.
Okay.
Can I use my knowledge as a vampire to figure out if we just cleaned out all of their pentagrams and drawings, that we could release the energy that's been collected?
Roll for it.
That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah, you can roll for it.
Okay, I'm going to quickly is dumb. Not doing that. I'm going to carefully use my fringe vampire.
Okay.
Uh, 13.
Okay. So if you erased all of their diagrams and stuff, and honestly, Grover's like licked his way halfway through the most recent one anyway.
I'm trying to make sure that this is a good idea before he finishes.
I make sure to get a picture on the cipher phone of all of the awfulness before Grover starts digging in.
Right. So Grover's halfway through his wonderful meal of, human and pig blood, new fresh human and less fresh pig blood.
So now Grover is doing his impression of a Roomba.
Basically, so Grover is Roombaing in slightly smarter fashion than a Roomba, because he's actually just following the lines instead of just, hitting doors and whatever.
He's a smart Roomba.
Yeah, he's a smart Roomba. He's following the lines. So he's looking it up, and like, if there was anything like charged up in it, that would definitely have, breaking the pentagram would definitely have kicked something off. But since nothing exploded or unexpectedly caught flame, there was probably nothing stored in this particular pentagram at this point in time, energy-wise.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think that disturbing the pentagram, the cult of assholes might notice and come back here very quickly so Ursula can hit at least one of them with her hammer?
With that 20 success on seeing magic and stuff, all you see is the portal magic, which is probably the most innovative or at least interesting use of magic you can see here, but also kind of explains why why it was so odd, because these people clearly don't actually care about learning magic. They have all the magic they need and they're just doing what they want with it. So they didn't learn anything else.
So what they want to do is murders, and then they keep the skeletons for the lulz.
I think they're trying to make a Halloween store out of skeletons, maybe.
I bet there's a lot of real skeletons around here. I tell you
Grover
what.
just told me. He said he tasted a few real skeletons. Yes, good boy, Grover. Okay, so they are just fucking around.
What I was saying is that what you don't see are like alarm spells or any kind of enchantments or anything like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
What do you think would happen if we just pulled a fire alarm in this store in particular? I imagine they might be concerned about soaking all their workplace in their grimoires.
Are there any like journals or anything of like, we did this thing and then we did that thing, lol, like, or is it just like the stuff they printed off the internet?
It's mostly stuff they printed off the internet, but you do find a page. It's just a list of ingredients. Like, it's pretty nasty ingredients, and it's clearly copied from one of the other pages. But it's written in a very clean and neat hand, and the eyes are dotted with hearts.
Oh, that's nice.
So one of them might be femme presenting, or just feminine. That's I live in New York. The gender norms just But they're annoying. They're useless. Who cares?
It's
Anyone
Texas.
can
It's
put
probably
hearts.
a female.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, I can see people of some persuasions turning to the dark arts just for being,
That's
in
true.
Texas.
But hopefully, if that's the case, they were successful.
I mean, if it's a spell to get out of Texas, then they're not going to come back.
Fair.
Correct.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to be in Texas.
But why were they doing all of the murders? Like 5 serial killers in one Texan town.
I mean,
they didn't seem that.
I don't know where the power is gone, but they're clearly trying to pull power. This place, as you said, is absolutely soaking in it.
But there doesn't seem to be a goal. They're literally just fucking around to see what happens, unless the goal we haven't figured out the goal yet.
Right.
I would like to amend my statement earlier.
Okay.
Or at least expand on it. I told you that the whole building is soaking in necromancy.
Yeah.
When I said the whole building, I meant the entire mall.
The entire mall is a necromantic hotspot. Does it seem like it's because of this bullshit?
I mean, it's...
Or it was here already and they're being affected by the bullshit.
I wonder if this is their old haunt and they've moved deeper into the mall.
I'd like to put on one of the cultist robes, if I may.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Oh, there are 4 of us. Perfect.
Yep. 4
Grover, you won't fit
cultists
the room.
later.
4 cultists and a Groover.
So you put them on and you find out several things very quickly. One, these cultists bought their robes from Bed Bath & Beyond. They are actually bathrobes. They are brown terry cloth bathrobes.
Are they black though?
They're brown.
Black. Oh, they're brown terry cloth. Okay.
Yeah.
This is nice.
2, whoever wears them washes them pretty frequently and uses Tide lavender scented soap.
Ooh.
Rager breaks out in a rash because it's not non-scented.
And 3, although this is more Kathy than anybody else, these cultists are clearly phoning it in because these robes have no kind of protective enchantments. If anything had gotten out of that pentagram and into the cultists, it would have just eaten them and not been stopped by their robes. Like real cultists will tend to, put some kind of protective sigils to keep themselves from being, accidental ingredients in their own ritual.
I mean, that's why you use black robes, because black absorbs energy the way it absorbs light and will absorb it before it eats you, maybe.
Yeah.
That's one theory I've read. Although, yeah, some people just use black robes to be pretentious.
Although, rigor mortis, one other thing is irritating your skin beyond the lavender scented Tide soap. Someone has embroidered a name on the back of it. Like the tag is gone, but like there's embroidery at the back of your neck and it's itchy.
I pull it off for just long enough to read the name on the back of it.
Samantha.
Okay.
Oh, there's names on these?
Check the back of your robes.
Yeah, look at the back of mine.
Jessup, you're wearing Alicia's robe. Kathy, you're wearing Mary's robe. And Ursula, you have like God, what's a good name? Tanya's robe kind of like tied around your neck because that's the only place it would fit. Like you're not gonna put the arm goes not go through that armhole. Yeah.
You can't wear a teenage girl's, robe.
Go figure.
Go figure.
Oh, you just cut the sleeves off.
Or put it on and the sleeves will tear themselves off conveniently.
Yeah.
True enough.
Tear one sleeve off. One sleeve will tear off conveniently.
Yes.
I grab the cipher phone and I start doing research on the 4 names.
Yeah, do they work here?
Looking for 4 girls who are friends, or acquaintances. Go to the same school, something.
It just feels inherently more terrible when it's 4 young girls fucking around with magic and finding out.
Especially necromantic magic. I mean, where are you going with this?
I don't. Maybe I'm being sexist though, because girls are as smart. Well, no, maybe it's sexist to think girls are smarter than boys at this age.
We're all dumb. Yeah. All of us are dumb.
Yeah.
And the more of us that are together, the dumber we get.
You are overwhelmed by the number of groups like that you find.
With that set of names?
Town?
Like, there's
I didn't limit it to Plano?
Like, you limited it to Plano, and, that does limit the number, but, there's still anywhere between 5 and 10 groups that include people with those names, not just people with those names.
I'm looking for a group of 5 where 4 of them are those names.
You don't find any.
I'm looking for a group of 4 with 4 of those names.
You don't find any.
Interesting.
I think there's I'm giving on the I'm kind of punching outside of my understanding zone here, but you think there's a possibility this might be some kind of college occultism club or something like that gone awry? I don't know. What do people do at this point?
High school, probably. Well, I mean, how long ago did this mall close?
This mall closed, I think, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
So it could be someone else already said that this, they're mall girls. This is their mall. They brought it back from the dead.
Yeah.
And now the entire mall is a zombie. Or the entire mall is kept open by the power of murder. Oh, God.
Oh.
Grover. No, can you smell this robe and see if you can find the owner? Okay, you want to smell all of them and see if they're traveling in a pack like a group of mall girls? Okay, we'll try that, Grover. Grover is a terrier again and would like to examine the smell of the living. Well, we think, unless, yeah, we'll see. Okay, go, buddy, go. So Grover is investigating.
Go get him.
No, you don't get to eat them right away because we will have to interrogate them and figure out what we're going to do with them. Yes, if Ursula kills one with her hammer, you can eat that one.
You
If
get
it-
scraps.
If
We
it's
don't-
not alive, you can eat it.
Yeah, we don't need the whole body to summon the spirit and interrogate them. Okay. Do I roll or does Grover roll?
You roll because Grover is your emotional support Shoggoth.
Yes. All right. So I think I have one faith dice left from my original pool because this is clever mystic arts again.
There is also one public faith die if you want to use it.
All right.
Run it. Take it.
I roll to find the Debbies.
Have we used the major Halloween presents?
I don't believe
not
so.
as far
no.
as I'm aware.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep track of our wonderful people who have tipped us tonight.
That is a 17.
You know, for a 20, I'll tell you where they are.
Oh god. I should have used the Halloween store die. Since that's the whole mall anyway. All right, I'll roll a Demondus. What did I say? It was 17.
Yes.
Now it is a 22.
Okay, so
And Grover just starts speeding in some direction.
so Grover kind of
Like a slimy
investigates-
tumbleweed.
investigates each of the robes, like you would like tentacling it up. Like it's not quite sniffing and it's not quite licking, but it's a brilliant combination of both. And it is also some sort of visual examinations as well. And
Grover tries one on at one point to
Oh,
get a
yeah.
sense of how wide her shoulders are.
yeah.
Oh.
So Grover does indeed start rushing off deeper into the mall.
All right.
Racing
we,
after.
We follow. Yeah. As
Yep,
quickly as
you are
possible.
running.
Actually, I'm still probably holding on to the one tentacle and he's pulling me along. Like a husky or a giant golden retriever.
You hear like you're running along, and like Grover is running in front of you, and there are people in this mall. There are regular people in this mall, kind of walking up and down, shopping and stuff. You know, it's a fairly busy mall, for a mall. And like you hear behind you, no pets allowed. You think it was probably a security guard, but you've stirred up stuff in your wake.
Rigger turns around and goes, "It's a robot."
Oh. So Grover is galloping along, and he leads you to one of the more unusual stores. It's near the food court, but it's not in the food court. It's not one you'd normally see in a mall, but in this one, it's here. And in this case, it is a boutique winery. It's like a storefront for a winery that people would come up and buy wine from this place.
Okay.
It's not something you normally see in a mall, not even in Texas, where people are both pretentious and exceedingly prone to
Karen.
their own comfort.
Wine aunts.
Yes, and you
Everywhere.
do see a group of 7 people actually. There are small little tables, like there would be kind of like a wine tasting area almost inside, so they could get the taste the wine before they decide to buy 15 bottles or something ridiculous like that.
At $45 a bottle.
Oh yeah. And they aren't wearing name tags, but they are women in their mid-30s, with dyed blonde hair. All of them have dyed blonde hair and like wearing like a designer handbags. They're not all the same designer, but like designer handbags, and like their clothing is very much from a catalog of socially acceptable things to wear.
And I assumed they were teenagers from their shitty magic. Okay.
Well, now everyone does have to start somewhere. I am, of course, still wearing the robe. It's very comfortable.
So you run up. Well, at least one of you is breathing heavily. I think there may only be one of you who's breathing heavily.
Because Well, no, that's right. Ursula's fit. I'm the one who's breathing.
Ursula's
heavily.
fit. Rigor Mortis is dead.
And the
Jessup
other-
ain't got lungs.
Yeah.
You're the only one left to.
We've got the yeah.
So clearly, we need to get Kathy a set of those roller skates
No,
shoes, so that
Grover
Grover
just tow her
can
along.
tow
Yeah,
her
I
along.
I saw the new Hocus Pocus last night, and I want Roomba shoes. So it's a matching set. So I have the smart Roomba and the broomies.
So these
That
women
sounds
are
like
like
a,
seated at a bar or something.
It's a small little. It's a table. It's a round table. Clearly,
they're
it's not meant
seated?
to. It's not meant to. Huh?
They're seated.
They are seated. Yes.
Okay.
There are
Ursula,
actually 7
as
of
she
them.
runs in, just kind of sweeps the legs on all the chairs to take them all to the ground. I want to floor them.
You do. You floor them extremely hard. So you do, and there's a bunch of immediate, like you were Karening in that special way that only Ursula can Karen. These women immediately start complaining in full Karen voicing on, like, oh, like any kind of stereotypical Karen, these people are the Karens. These people are the complainers, the people who are trying to who will always try and argue their way out of a bill or demand to see the manager even when service is perfectly acceptable. That kind of nonsense. These people are born complainers, and they're also surprisingly preppy for Texas. Like they're not drawling; they are like their accents are definitely not what you expect from Texas, even East Texas.
I'm going to step beside Ursula and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Before you do that, after Ursula swoops, and when they start to complain,
When their butts hit the floor, they start to complain. What a surprise.
when they hit Ursula hits the chairs, and as they hit the floor, metal gratings slam down in front of the store.
Interesting.
Or this is a trap for us.
We have to consider there's only 5 hangers. At least 2 of these people have nothing to do with this. I don't even know why I'm exhausted. I'm sorry, Kathy. I didn't want to feel like you were alone in this.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
I've worked with a lot of the undead before. It's fine.
Fair enough.
Shay
enough.
forgets that I can't walk through walls. It's just you get used to it. So there were 5 hooks,
Mhm.
4 robes, and there's 7 women.
Yes,
Okay.
which is why rigor mortis couldn't find them, and also because they're in their 30s, and rigor mortis was looking for high schoolers.
Yeah, because we assumed this was stupid high school bullshit. No, it's stupid adult bullshit. Although on the other hand, Kathy maybe doesn't have the high ground when telling middle 30s to 40s women not to fuck around with magic they don't understand.
Hey, you ain't dead yet. And that's worth something, Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to find out what happens when I die.
Nothing good.
Jessup, you can see the symbol of Cthulhu on Kathy's forehead. The star of what?
I don't know what that means. I ain't read any of that stuff. That's all post internment
That's
in
fair.
the ground, unfortunately.
Well, it existed in your time. It's just that asshole didn't write it down until after your war.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing a lot of like sore loser flags all over the place. What's that about? I thought we won.
You did. Somebody couldn't let go.
Mm.
So
And the real
Ursula
kicker
shouts
is-
out, "Hey, Tanya."
Huh?
Ursula shouts out, "Hey, Tanya."
One of the women struggling to get up from the floor because you did, in fact, crush the shit out of all the chairs and also the table because that was going to, like they were at a table that was not designed for 7 people, so they were fairly close in on it. So when you swept the chairs, you also swept the table.
So now there's just
how
a
much
pile of
red
Becky's on the
wine
floor.
is all over them?
Oh, there is so much red wine all over the floor and all over them. Like you have stained like at least $7,000 worth of scarves and like expensive shirts and that kind of thing. Like,
Grover is lapping some of it up, but he's not really impressed by this vintage. He's like, "Aw," and like, it's Texas, Grover.
it really is.
Oh.
So you
Which
shout
is-
Tanya, and one of the women struggling just shoves something out of the way and goes, "What?"
And I tee off right into her face.
And while that happens, Rigger's gonna go grab gonna go look in the wine rack for the 3 most expensive bottles of wine,
Huh?
and is going to open them.
It's not their store.
Does it matter?
Okay.
It might
you
be. I
tee
don't
off.
know.
Roll for attack.
So I have a stunt called Lefty Lucy because my left arm lacks fine motor skills. Once per conflict, I can place three free invokes on Ursula Smash and Batting Lefty, channeling my rage to add raw power to my attacks. Comes at the expense of finesse, though, so any of my allies in the immediate vicinity will also have to make a defense roll against half my total attacks. So
That's fair.
I've already been hit by the hammer. Let's go.
all right.
I could argue that having worked with Ursula before, I know to hit the ground when she starts. But yeah, this happened fast.
I'm thinking I might need to use my stunt for vampiric speed to get out of range.
Now, in your defense, you're off grabbing fancy wine.
I am right.
Yeah,
my stunt is I went to
you're
grab
about it.
fancy wine. I'm not in range.
Yeah. There you
Oh,
go.
I might get to use my bardic immunity power. So actually, can I roll last in case I need to use bardic immunity?
Okay.
21.
Or-
All right. So I will roll my defense here using one of my Demondis. Okay. Okay, that is only a 16, sadly, and I can't do anything about that. I hoped you would roll better for me. Anyway, so
Oh,
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 on a d12. I'm disappointed in it. So Tanya says, "What?" And you tee off, like you wind up for a swing and, nearly hit a couple of your other friends. And another
I
table.
might hit a couple of my other friends. They haven't rolled defense yet.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right, let's roll for defense first. So
Do I
everybody
get
else
to-
rolls for I believe a 10 would be. We'll round down. Be nice.
okay. You
And
roll
this
first,
is,
Corporal.
You got it. And I'd similar normal approaches and disciplines kind of deal.
Yep, approaching discipline. and defense.
Fantastic. I am going to take quick, and I would like to take combat and tactics because Corporal Herrera is a trained soldier and does know how to tuck and roll from a big swing.
Yes.
And
You're normally ducking out of the way of horses, and this hasn't got that much less power.
no, yeah, just like full spine, just flop backwards.
It's a 50 horsepower sledge-o-matic.
Mhm. That is a 13.
That's
Okay.
enough. You do the limbo most impressively.
Yeah, it's great not having meat to get in the way.
I would like to offer something, Merc. So since I've worked with Ursula before, can I use quick social engineering rather than quick combat
this is coming.
tactics? Because that goes then from a 4 to a D6.
I'll accept that.
So it's like,
Because you knew like you almost saw the sequence of events happening before it happened. It's like, oh shit.
oh. Okay, so, and I have to hit a 10.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 9. So I will have to roll a Demondis.
Alrighty.
Oh, and the Demondis rolled a 6. So that is a 15.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
I hide under one of the other tables.
You are already ducking by the time she begins her the
Actually,
initial downswing.
Grover has turned himself into a fake oak table for me to hide behind.
Aw.
So speaking of oak tables,
Oh
the
no.
reason you only deal in mild condition to Tanya is because another oak table launches itself right into the path of your swing.
Karen magic. Karen Mancy. Oh no.
They raised them all from the dead.
Like I said.
Yeah.
And now
Oh,
it does
God.
their bidding. It actually raises stuff. Okay. Fuck the whole it's a zombie mole.
More like a lich, but yes.
Yeah.
So yes, you only deal a mild
mole.
condition to Tanya. You make you give her a nosebleed. She's like, "Ah, you bitch!"
I just took that done.
A mullich, really?
Why do you think it had the inscription on it?
Once I have the wine,
Huh?
I'm going to pour it on them.
What?
Okay.
They're clearly trying to enjoy the finer things in life. I'm going to make them enjoy it more. Once I finish with the wine, I'm going to hit them with the bottles.
Okay. Roll for emotional damage.
Psychic damage.
And I'm going to do this quickly.
Okay, the entitlement of Karens makes this scenario make more sense than teenage girls resurrecting a mole.
Yeah, it does.
That makes more sense now, actually. Okay.
Midlife crisis trying to enact their youth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use my Ninja Master aspect to explain why I was able to get to the bottles of wine, dump them on them, and hit them in the head all in a turn.
Absolutely.
Wow. That would be a 17.
Okay. It will.
This isn't going to happen again tonight, but I had to show it.
Yeah. No, that doesn't
That's
happen
not
very
happening
often
to
at
me.
all. All right. Let's actually add a Demondis because I have them.
Good,
Ooh.
burn them all.
Cool. Yeah. No, you didn't do any damage to them. Like you poured the wine on them, and one of them did start crying. With a roll of
You did emotional
21.
damage.
Yeah.
Good. Emotional damage is the
One of them,
starting
sorry,
point.
something on my glasses. Anyway, okay. One of them did start crying. As you poured, $300 wine on their, $400 clothing. But when you wound up to hit them with the bottle, you wound up to hit them with the end of the bottle because that's where all the force is. And as you wound up, like something went whizzing through the air and broke the bottle out of your hand. So when you went, you whiffed with the neck. You were expecting to hit with something a little longer than what you were actually holding at the end there.
Okay.
Hey,
All right, so we've had Ursula go and we've had Rigor Mortis go. Who goes next?
Jessup.
hey, Kathy, am I allowed to shoot these people?
Yes.
Fantastic. I've got a
Oh,
couple things. I got a couple things I would like to do. Step one.
Remember,
Yes.
everyone, if the bad guys go last, the bad guys go twice.
Fair enough.
And there might be more than just these bad guys. Oh, no, because there's 7 and we were thinking 5. Okay. But yeah, someone closed the gate.
Or
That is
something
true.
closed the gate.
Something
Because something also threw the table.
The mall might have its own turn.
The mall
So, yeah.
might have its own turn, and I think that's lovely. In order, doing this quickly. I am doing this with combat and tactics. I am invoking my discipline aspect, Old West Gunslinger, and I am using my big iron on his hip stunt, which is re-flavored from some other pre-built. Just +2 when I attack quickly with the gun that I died with.
Okay.
We have dice. And they might be nice. Who knows?
With a big iron on
Let's
his
see. We've got 6 and 3, and 3 brings us up to a 12, which should bring us up to a 14.
Okay. I will roll to defend against that. Okay. Oh man. Okay, that is 11. So you score a mild hit. So you two fire off at one of the women. Just you picked random. Did you pick randomly, or did you try and shoot the same one that
There's a
Ursula?
large pile of people that I have been given express permission to do violence on.
These,
I was just asking if you were aiming for the same one that Ursula was.
We're just
Okay.
nah.
Are
No,
we gonna
or
focus
maybe
fire or
Huh?
are we gonna focus fire?
So you
not.
fire and like one of the ceiling tiles, because the drop ceiling just drops in front of your shot. And while it does go through, because drop ceilings are literally just kind of like pasteboard, they're
Yeah.
not very sturdy or anything like that. Musket balls are also not that fast, so it does lose a lot of its force going through the paper mache or whatever they're made out of. I don't remember. Drop ceiling
Practically.
tile. And one of the other women, not the one that Ursula hit, goes, ah! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! Sorry, they're probably not that high pitched because they are fully grown 30-year-old women, but
Too right. Well, that's me. I don't know.
All right.
I haven't gone yet, but the bad guys have to go or they go twice. So
Yeah.
let the bad guys go.
Okay.
Also, I'm looking up notes that I need for a thing.
So the bad guys will go. And bad guys will. You hear screaming from the mall proper. Like there is already a certain amount of yelling, especially when the gun went off. But this is actual screaming. Like these are screams of terror and the pounding of feet. But the pounding of feet isn't coming towards you. Instead, what's coming towards you is a weird kind of clicking on the mall floor.
Like Gartham?
More like someone more like bone on tile.
Oh, they do have an army. Great.
Yeah.
But there's a grate between us and them, right?
For the
For right now.
moment.
For now. Okay.
For now. And they can't get far enough in one turn to make it all the way here. And then beyond that, it will try and stop Ursula because Ursula is clearly the biggest threat. It's gonna roll that.
Sure she is. Well, she is.
So Ursula, defend against a 17. Yes, I can math. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And for defense, I'm just a tank. What is that?
Look, there's
That
something
is
on my glasses.
a-
No, the thing's been bothering me the entire night that I thought it was an eyelash on my glasses is actually the shadow from my horns on the desk.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. I'm awake.
It's
I've
actually
clearly
a
worn these before.
13. So you're getting a demon die. You good.
Blarlek. Jessup, your
6.
dates have arrived.
All right.
Yes.
19.
My boys.
19. Okay. So yes, another ceiling tile tries to drop on you, but once again, this is a paper mesh. It's a drop ceiling tile. It drops on you and breaks in half, and you are like, "Ha! Now I'm dusty." And that's it. That's really it. Up underneath the drop ceiling tiles, now that there's two of them down, you can see the normal piping that kind of makes up, the pipe space underneath above a drop ceiling. That's why you have a drop ceiling. But in among the kind of wires and pipes you'd expect, there's something like veins. If a building had veins, it's pulsing and a little gross.
That's not good.
And then Kathy will go next because the wine Karens are wine Karens without the ritual implements.
Okay. I am out of my own faith dice. So. Oh, but I think I have one more invoke left on the portal magic.
Yes. You also
Um,
have I'm going to say that because you're still inside the mall, even though you did change stores, that the lots of Halloween stores is still active as well. I don't think anybody's used that.
Okay.
At least I can't remember anybody having done that.
Nope.
All right. Oh,
Gotta
do we
find
still
out
have
how.
that
I have
extra
that one
faith
written
dice? Did chat buy us a faith dice?
Yes,
Yes.
Chop bought you 1 faith dice, and you have 1 free faith dice on the aspect that Blarlike bought, which is the Halloween stores.
Yes. All right. Okay, it doesn't. I didn't write that I can't use this to build an advantage.
Mhm.
So. So I've only got 1 Grover with me now,
Mhm.
but I have a free invoke from Portal Magic
Mhm.
and 1 faith dice for accidental Cantor of Cthulhu.
Okay. Are you using the faith dice in chat?
I'm going to use the faith dice. Is everyone else okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat.
And I'm going to use it to build a new advantage with hopefully a lot of dice. I'm going to cleverly Mystic Arts, and she starts singing. I couldn't find the text I'd written down, so and start singing Yellow Rose of Texas with the Necronomicon. But she wants to summon 1 big Shoggoth to basically turn into a puddle of tentacles to become basically difficult terrain. I don't know how high I have to roll to catch all 7 Karens, but it's gonna not be fun to be them for a bit.
Okay.
Suggestions?
No, just
I'm open to suggestions.
I'm worried about the picture that this is going to create in 2 rounds. That's all.
If there are skeletons running through the mall, people are already leaving the mall.
No, that's not the worry I have.
Oh, okay.
Tentacle monsters. I mean,
it's my tentacle monster.
as long as we can keep it PG-13, we're fine.
Oh yeah, we
The
don't.
anime girl's trying to make a hentai joke. Anyway.
Yeah, basically.
I'm asexual. I don't understand these things anyway.
Perfect.
Other people definitely make these jokes when I summon tentacle monsters. though.
I'm sure that the 7 women aren't going to make that connection almost instantly.
Yeah, they're gonna think yell.
There are
They might
7
notice.
wine moms in Texas. They probably think anime is from the devil.
Well, they
That's
probably
only going to make it
recognize-
worse.
They're
Is she
also
singing-
necromancers.
Is she singing Yellow Rose of Texas wrong?
You can cover up Yella, and you can cover up Rose, but by God, if you cover up Texas, I'll stick your head through that drum and secede from the band by Mitch Miller, I will. That is Stan Freberg sings The Yellow Rose of Texas, I think it is.
That's not as bad as it could. That's 12. That's a 15. Yes, that is a 15. My brain forgot what math it had just done. So I have rolled a 15.
That's fair. Since building an advantage, the basic success rate is only a 10. That is a success with style. So you do get
okay. But
you do get your large Shoggoth, and you do get 3 free invokes on it. What would you like to name it? The aspect, not the.
oh wait.
But both.
+2 because I tentacles bind the galaxy together, so it's a 17, which doesn't bring me another success, but at least I remembered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it Grappa Floor?
Hmm.
I'm trying. I'll come up with something better later. I mean, we're in a wine shop, and it is grappling them.
Okay. I was thinking deep shag carpet, but okay.
I'll work with that.
Dag Show, thank you for rating.
Yay, raid!
Well,
thanks for
Raiders,
you.
we are playing Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors. They are fighting a giant undead mall with 7 Karens, 5 of whom are probably necromancers. Well, are definitely necromancers.
At least 5 of them are. So Kathy starts singing a language that hurts your ears to hear, but it's the Yellow Rose of Texas, which somehow makes it worse. And a portal opens kind of under the Karens, and like some ooze, like a much bigger version of Grover kind of goes slurp up from the floor, and lots of eyes and tentacles and mouths that are trying to capture the Karens. So that
Okay.
has 2 invokes on it?
3.
3 invokes. Okay, so there are now 3 extra d6s if you want to use them in Deep Shag Carpet.
Fantastic.
Very deep pile. All right, Kathy, you went at the end of the round. Is now the top of the new round.
I would like Ursula to go next.
So Ursula,
So,
you are standing over a white, bleach blonde, mid-30s woman who's clutching her bleeding nose and just cursing at you. And she did respond to Tanya,
Yes.
which was the name on your robe.
Actually, my attention is more taken to the ceiling up above. I'm noticing that all that vein work up there, and
Mhm.
so I think I'm gonna Mjolnir the Sledge-O-Matic up there and just see if I can do some damage to the mall itself. So anyone in my vicinity is still gonna have to make a defense roll against half of this. So buckle up, and I'm also gonna tag my heir to the legacy of the Sledge-O-Matic because I am attacking an undead mall with a sacred weapon. So
So you're attacking an undead mall with a holy mall.
exactly.
They give me life. Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I keep trying to go exclamation point puns, and no, this isn't my channel.
That is a
Copy
28.
paste.
Oh, okay. How are we using
No, it's a command in our
I know.
Nightbot.
No, I know. Just but you haven't been typing much else, right? So copy
True.
and then Control V, Control V, Control V.
Yes.
Okay, that is not super great, but
Good. Use
7,
all of your demon dice.
9, 21. Fuck.
Uh,
I rolled 5 dice. A D12, a D10, and 3 D6. I got a 21.
Good.
What's,
That was.
Thank you,
that-
Dice Gods.
Thanks, Dice Gods, for removing demon dice from the pool.
What's
All right.
what am I trying to defend against? What's the big number?
14.
Oh yes, 14.
Oh, so,
Okay.
so
I gotta roll this
do
one
I
too.
do I
Yeah.
still have to roll?
Yes.
Okay, because I've
Because what happens
so
is
do the
Ursula
Karens.
has to kind of like wind up to get it up into the ceiling. And like she's not paying attention to anybody around her except laser
that's-
focusing on target.
Karens need to defend too.
Mm-hmm.
May I?
Yeah.
Can I make this a quick Mystic Arts roll if I'm using Grover to defend myself?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
quickly.
Welcome to the
convert-
stream, Raiders.
Actually, if I'm using Grover, can I say that's clever instead of quick?
I don't know that you have time to be clever.
Okay, that's true. All right, then just. Oh wait, a D8 and a D10.
Please remember the tentacles bind the world together.
Well, yeah, but that's to cleverly summon.
Okay, fair.
So that's why I asked if I could be clever.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
I hear
that's-
you, but I don't know that you have time to be clever.
That, that's a 10. What did I have to hit?
14.
14.
Or take a condition.
So that would be what, a mild condition?
Yes.
I can afford a mild
take
condition,
it.
I think, right now. So yeah, either I get hit with the hammer or shrapnel.
I think you get clipped by the hammer by the maul as it goes around.
And I'm on a 12.
Plunk.
You also get clipped by the hammer unless you want to use a demon die.
Mildly.
No.
I am mildly hammered.
I'm taking that.
I'll have that.
And Colonel Jessup is good because Colonel Jessup is mostly empty space.
I'm mostly empty space. I got a
Plonk.
15.
Just whip
The
right in.
hammer passes right like
Yeah.
where your gut should be, like it just goes through that space.
And hits me.
A mortal creature would die. This would all be gone.
Fortunately, I have more room than that.
Oh, Also, that the hammer's a holy weapon. What would that do to our skeleton friend, who's a member of the undead?
Actually, what does that do to the vampire?
Oh no!
It's not
Uh-oh.
Do you
great.
have anything specifically in your thing that references holy stuff?
No.
She's not one of those vampires.
Yeah.
She's one of those atheist
Just-
vampires.
You just skinned your knee diving out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Kathy didn't quite make the dodge. Rigor mortis made the dodge, but kind of like clipped the table on the way over.
Or rather, it was
And-
Mystic Arts. I didn't get Grover up in time.
Yeah.
Bonk.
Or rather, Grover, you got Grover most of the way up, and then Grover got driven into you.
Bonk.
And meanwhile, Jessup is like, I gotta dodge, and it goes whoosh.
Is there some kind of issue here?
This is
All right, so you did a moderate condition to the mall.
All right.
So your maul hits the mall, and there is a spray of blood that Grover is just overjoyed by. Oh yeah, this is so much better than wine.
What does it taste like? Does he tell me what it tastes like? Like, is it human? Is it?
Yes, you promised him human.
Oh, okay, it tastes like human blood. That's not disturbing
Which
at all.
direction is the blood coming from? Can we see which direction it's coming
Oh,
out of the vein from?
They siphoned the blood out of the victims and put it into the mole, and then you put the skeletons in the Halloween store. God, this is more. Thank you, Mark. This is excellent Halloween fodder.
Yes.
Happy Halloween! You're fighting an undead mall.
I'm not going to see this tonight at all.
It
so
is
many
spraying
questions
out of
in
the
the time.
direction the Halloween store is in,
Okay.
and it's doing like its best fire sprinkler impression.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yes, you have done a moderate condition to them all. You've done a mild condition to Tominia, and you've also done and Jessup has done a mild condition to another woman.
The mall
This
is
has really got to be
moderate.
screwing with rigor mortis's sobriety.
Yeah.
The
Blood
mall is
and
moderate.
wine. The fairies would be overjoyed.
Woohoo! Moderately hammered.
I've got a rib bone if that helps you wean off of it that I don't need.
Does
No.
it have any marrow in it? Dude.
No.
Rigor's hand is, not
Oh,
so even right now.
And Ursula just catches the hammer as it comes back down.
Oh yeah, clearly. This is your hammer. You know exactly how, you've hit so many. This is not the first time you've thrown the hammer. This is not the first time you had
This
to
is
catch
not
the
the
hammer.
first building I've tried to kill.
No.
Is this the first building that's fought back, though?
Exactly.
God, I remember, as I recall, you did. You defended the front of a farmhouse by taking down the support pillars on the porch and just dropping it. So it has been Ursula's turn. Ursula, you choose who goes next.
Yes. Let's go with Jessup.
Fantastic. Are we killing the roof? Fine.
I mean, it is fountaining
anything.
blood at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We're just listen, I'm using my last faith die. We are once again invoking Old West Gunslinger, just on principle. And we're gonna reenact cowboy movie Fan the Hammer just into the ceiling tile. Vaguely. And this is, of course, one Mogan, quick in combat and tactics, because we're just putting as much up as we can. Yeah. All right. That is 1 on my approach die, for what that's worth.
Okay.
Plus a 6 is a 7, 8, 9. We got 11 in total against the building.
You may choose, if you so desire, to take a faith dice for rolling a 1 on your approach or discipline. If you do, I will get a demon die.
Take your secret treasures.
Okay.
They're yours.
I will happily take a demon die as I try to defend the building from Ursula. That's where
I
most of them have been going. I hate to say it.
I don't know if that's a worthwhile use of your demon dice at this point, Merc.
I mean,
The closest distance between 2 points is Ursula.
that's fair.
Or
The
that
shortest
portal,
distance.
or that last incantation of portal magic.
Yeah.
And I can immediately spend that faith die to re-roll the one that I beefed. Is that correct?
Yes. So faith dice. If you roll it with your pool, it has to be declared before you roll.
Right.
The only way you can use a faith die after you roll is to re-roll a bad die.
Okay. Well, I don't like 1 on this.
Okay.
I would like it to be better. And is that the dice value that it would have had before, or am I swapping it for a 6-sided?
No, it's the dice value we had before. You're just
Fantastic.
re-rolling that die. You're not rolling a faith die.
Well, technically, 13 is better than 11. So we're going to take that.
Okay, I will defend against it. I'll try to anyway. All right, that is a very fancy die. Well, it's good that you did reroll because I rolled an 11 to defend.
I'm so curious as to how many health levels this building has. Because it's a building, but it has squishy insides now.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean? It can bleed to death now.
So you
Building's
fire
built.
into the ceiling, and once again, the ceiling, like you aim for where Ursula didn't, so you're aiming a little further along towards the Halloween store because you're not dumb. You know which way blood comes from, which is specifically from the heart. So you aim a little further along from the where it's fountaining out, and you shoot. And once again, the tile is kind of in your way, but you've shot through it now, and it cracks and crumbles. And
The heart is the Halloween store?
you've put another several holes into this sprinkler system of blood, and they are sprinkling out. It's not gushing like Ursula's strike, but they are, doing the fountainy bit, spurting in spurts. It's getting pretty messy inside the store.
Beautiful. We love to see it.
The sommelier is crouched behind his lectern, screaming.
Oh. He didn't ask for this.
Yeah, no.
No, these
We might have
not
to
his
mind wipe
fault.
him later. No, not eat him, Grover. No, mind wipe. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Or he's our
Just-
newest Omega.
Add him to the
Unfortunate.
skeleton army, which we will obviously be taking with us. Come on.
So, Jessup, who goes next? Your choices are Rigor Mortis, Kathy, or the bad guys.
I would love, if nobody else disagrees, to see what the skeleton army does. So I'll give it to the bad guys.
So, yeah, the gates slam up and 7 skeletons come trooping in. And they will immediately attack Ursula. All 7 of them. It's a pileup.
Clankety clank, clank, clank.
And they are not quite as cool as the mall is, so find another die. Give me a second.
And I think they're very cool. Don't be mean.
That's fair, but their dice are not as cool.
Hmm.
That's not what I want. It'll do. Fuck it. Can't find a D10, find a lot of percentile. Whatever, man.
Yep.
It'll fucking work. So that is. Hang on, I gotta re-roll it because I accidentally dropped it. So it is a 3 and a 6 for a 9. Defend against 9, Ursula.
16.
Yeah. No. So they all jump on you, and you just do that thing where you're like, "Ah!" no, you're not punching away. They all jump on you, and they're there for a second. And you just just flex them off. No, you meatless things. You can't, keep me down. And so the bringing them here was that turn, so it will go to Kathy.
Okay, so clearly Ursula has a skeleton army in hand. So there's still a dice on the Halloween adventure store thing.
Yes.
Does it?
Didn't we use that?
I believe No, not on Halloween store specifically.
I have not
okay.
heard anyone use the Halloween store one.
Okay, so we used the
I
mall,
used-
but not the Halloween.
We used
stores.
the mall one, we used the portal one, but we did not use the Halloween store one.
Okay.
And I used the floating one.
Yes.
Based on what so does it seem like the blood vessels are going towards the Halloween store?
Yeah.
So the Halloween store might be the heart of this undead mall.
And
I
the
would
grates did come up to let the skeletons in.
Yeah. So I will use a dice from the Halloween store aspect. I'm going to cleverly mystic arts to tentacles bind the galaxy together. And I guess one of the invokes from Deep Shag Carpet, because I have a giant tentacle monster in the room. And I'm just gonna like direct macro Shoggoth to basically just tear for an arterial vein in the direction of the mall. Like, I'm not like,
Are you trying to pull it down,
I
or
was trying to break it open, basically, but I'm assuming it's larger than a normal vein.
I mean, the only kind of vein-like structure has already been heavily damaged by Ursula, who it's now spurting blood. It is the only one you can see in the ceiling. Like, there are several tiles down now. You can clearly see through a large chunk of the ceiling, and this is the only kind of like weird pulsing vein. I mean, there are other pipes, gas, like, not gas, this is Texas, like water and
Hot
you know,
water, cold
How
water.
far
Water
are we
cold-
from the Halloween
Not
store?
power. This is Texas.
okay, that's also
Yeah.
fair. That's why I moved out. Yeah.
Sorry, Texas.
Yeah.
Or sorry, people of Texas.
Yeah, I wish it was different.
Yeah.
Most of you
how
made a
far-
choice.
How far are we from this massive block of Halloween stores?
You are so the mall is arranged in kind of spokes. There are three main ones with anchor stores at the end. So at the end of one was a Halloween store, and at the center, there's a center that kind of leads to the three, and then like a half circle off the center is the food court. So like the center wheel, off the side of the food court, closest to the spoke where the Halloween store is where the sommelier was, on the first floor. On the ground floor, I should say.
Okay, so we're on a different spoke.
No,
No,
you're
we're on the same spoke.
End of the same spoke, I believe.
end of the same spoke. End of the same
Okay.
spoke between the spoke and the food court, basically, in the central hub.
Okay. In that case, if there's a great big open vein, could I have Deep Shag Carpet send one really long vein towards the heart to see if it can find one and stop it?
So you want to send your Shoggoth to up the vein, basically?
She
Well,
wants
one
she wants
tendril.
to perform a cardiac catheterization of the mall.
Sounds icky. Do it.
Awesome.
As somebody who's
That's
had that
horrible.
done, it's
Roll.
I mean, I have had
Basically.
one, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yui.
they don't even put you out for it.
Oh, you may stop talking at any time, sir.
It's a really interesting sensation when they blow a balloon up in your heart. It's Halloween. What did you want?
I want you guys to kill them all.
We're trying.
We're working on it.
Okay,
We're
that
going to
is-
do it in a way you did not expect.
and that's the best kind of Demon Hunter's module.
Absolutely.
At least when I wrote it. Yeah. So that is a 15. I rolled a 1 on one of my faith dice. So can I put that back on the mall on the Halloween store?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So Halloween store still has a dice on it. 15.
I'm
Do
going to
it.
consider this a kind of attack, but since you're using an unexpected vector, I will not be able to use any of my. I don't really have any of the aspects that apply. So 8 and 5 is 13. So you do find the heart, but
Remember.
one tendril, like it's a pretty far stretch, even for a
Yeah.
big Shoggoth. Like it needs a bit more presence down there to do more damage, but it is there. It has found a central sort of chamber and is, doing the nasty finger wiggle inside of it.
That is unsettling.
I-
But
Is the ball
good
now
for us.
coughing?
Like it is.
The vents are very raspy.
No, well, like it's not a physical sensation,
It's got a heartworm.
but if like the closest you can compare would be like the magical equivalent of a cat about to throw up a hairball.
Can you make the tentacle as like into a blockage?
No,
Next
that was
turn.
what I tried to do, but next turn,
Okay.
unless someone wants to send like a jolt of electricity through it or some other.
I will say
ghastly
that
thing.
because the Shoggoth is like the Shoggoth has blocked it where it is right now, so it's no longer fountaining blood into the store. And like even the holes Jessup put into it have been blocked by the Shoggoth. By the time it reaches the end, it is a rather attenuated tentacle.
Okay. Well, it's
It
got
needs more mass to go down.
It's
to
got
be able-
two more invokes on it, and no one else seems to be aiming for the Karens like I expected. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
They
what the
are
next
rolling
round's gonna-
Shoggoth currently. And screaming.
And they're
Except
not-
for the one who was cursing.
It's so slimy.
Oh god,
A
are
bit
these
busy.
tentacles?
All right. So who hasn't gone yet? Rigor
RM.
mortis.
Uh,
Do something.
so
On the upside, the tempting blood has stopped flowing.
So if I look through the ceiling, are the walls going all the way up through the drop ceiling between the stores?
No.
Usually they don't. Cool, perfect.
No.
Rigor Mortis is going to jump up, grab one of the bars of the drop ceiling, and sort of gymnastics style, somewhere between gymnastics and parkour, do a swing and lache up into the ceiling and then follow the tentacle.
Okay.
It's a pointing Shoggoth.
It's a pointing Shoggoth.
Oh.
Okay. Roll something to get there in this turn.
Well, I think we're gonna go with. We're obviously going with covert ops because I'm crawling through a ceiling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yay!
Um,
Someone's in the ceiling.
but I don't think we're talking about sneaky at this point.
Quick.
Yeah,
are you at quick?
I think it's quick. I'm actually better at quick than I am at anything else.
It's a zoomy pirate.
If it weren't for the fact that flashy is really terrible for me, I would have said it was flashy.
Mm-hmm. That was something quick.
Ninjas have a weird relationship with Flashy. Oh wait, you're not the ninja vampire though.
Yeah,
That's
I am.
another vampire.
No, I am.
Oh, you are the ninja
the
vampire.
the ninja master. Yeah.
Oh, I remember
He's
now.
not the syphilitic ninja vampire though.
No, well, thank goodness.
14.
14. Okay. So what ends up happening is you swing up into the ceiling, you start doing that really unsettling thing from the beginning of Dracula where Dracula is just running along a straight surface. It's almost like a Spider-Man running, so the vampire is doing it, so it looks really creepy. But you're just doing that inside the ceiling. So nobody's too grossed out because they don't see you doing it for very long. So you skitter along like it's super weird. Skitter along, hands and feet actually, not knees. You're kind of like spread out in a way that fleshy muscle should not be able to manage, except that you're undead, so your limbs don't get seized or locked or anything like that in this position for so long. And you scattle along, and it takes you a bit, but you do eventually end up in like a pipe space between the big store. It's definitely the second floor of the store and like the rest of the mall because it's a two-story mall.
Yeah.
So there's like a pipe space between
The
the
maintenance
mall
area.
and maintenance area. And you find it's not a human heart, it's too big. But it's like you've never really seen a heart like this. Like, you didn't tend to go in for the animal murder much, so you don't really recognize it.
Right.
But it's definitely bigger than you'd expect.
Okay.
You found the heart of capitalism.
Well,
Destroy it!
Kill it now.
Killing it now. Well,
wait,
so,
no,
This is her turn. So we're
so
done.
I was
Oh,
gonna say
no.
at the end of the turn. So
yep, that's the end of your turn. Top of the round, you get to choose to go to anyone who's next, including yourself.
I'm gonna go
Including
next.
yourself.
I'm
You
definitely
should.
going next.
Remember, since the tentacle is there, you can also invoke deep shag carpet if you
You
need
can, because the tentacle
you-
is there.
friend
like,
Shoggoth is
One
there.
deep shag carpet.
You can see it moving around inside the heart. It's kind of gross.
So we'll take a deep shag carpet.
Yeah, that's the part that's gross.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go with teeth and fangs.
Okay.
To carefully, because I'm not dumb.
Sorry, just read what Blarlek wrote.
Oh God.
No, it's
Oh,
he
from
may
the
stop
form.
talking, but
Okay.
he's not going to.
No, I'm not. Absolutely not. To carefully covert ops the heck out of this. Also,
You backstab
You're
the
going to
heart.
just like, gotta get the
and,
trailer.
and because I know, and I'm going to use a stunt because I know ninjutsu. I gain a +2 when I carefully attack from the shadows.
Yay.
I will say that because this has no visible spine, you cannot backstab it.
Aw, man!
That's fine. I'm going to go for the aorta.
Fair.
Well, let's
That's just
see.
what you aorta do.
Boo.
I got more puns. More puns. I got this one. Don't worry.
Yeah. 16. That's a 20.
Okay. You are attacking it in a weak spot.
Physics be
You
damned!
should hope so.
60. I am
Or
diving.
astral.
Actually, I am attacking it from the shadows by basically doing a wrestling dive off of the top rope from the ceiling down onto the aorta.
Okay. So you do that, and you hit it square, and it just pops like a really icky balloon.
Great.
There's blood everywhere. There's not as much blood as you'd expect because that tentacle's been in there, and Shoggoths really enjoy the taste. But it does go everywhere. It paints the inside of the thing, and like,
So I'm having an addiction problem right now.
Oh no!
I'm going to actually
Yeah,
just
I get you to
take-
rehab.
Yeah, we're going back to rehab, and I'm taking a condition of. I'm taking a minor condition for it.
I would say take a moderate condition of fell off the wagon.
Okay.
You're gonna have to go somewhere to get that fixed.
Fell off the wagon into the aorta.
You're in a real bloody mess right there. And if you did fall off the wagon, you were probably licking the walls or something because that is human blood.
I love the symmetry of she destroyed the heart of capitalism and painted the walls red
Yeah.
at the same time.
At the same time.
You also took a
Magical.
20-point hit to your credit score, just an FYI.
I'm dead. I don't have a credit score.
She's not one of those compound interest vampires.
That's fair. So this
have no
pops,
interest.
and like you were all feeling the mall, like it wasn't actually shaking on its foundations, but it was doing that, and then it just does kind of like a metaphysical seizure, and then suddenly it's just a mall. It's just a mall. The stores are empty, the walkways are empty. Like they're
The
still
sommelier
very
is still screaming.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that there's no merchandise in them. There's nothing like that, but there are still workers, minimum wage, poorly employed. This is definitely their third job, workers, wandering out of stores looking extremely confused.
And about to be very pissed off.
I don't know. I think they've all seen too much. I think maybe we have to forcibly recruit them.
At least we have to get the sommelier.
Yeah, the small
Yeah.
is
Sorry,
Because-
bud.
I will say that this entire store is painted red, but it is the wine store, and there are a bunch of broken bottles around.
I did my job. I
That's
made
a
it
clean-
look like wine.
That's a cleanup crew problem.
But Shoggoth,
I'm
Deep-
just saying.
deep shag carpet does not usually have teeth. Not usually.
Are you going to eat the necromancers now that they no longer have the defense of the undead mole?
Kathy wants to know where they got their magic data, so she could track down she can sick some hackers on that website.
Reddit.
So Tanya is still cursing because Ursula broke her nose. Who else did I say? Marianne is crying because Jessup winged her with a gun. She wasn't expecting that.
They murdered teenagers.
The others are having problems with the deep shag carpeting.
Mhm.
But if you order one of them to talk, one of them will, and they will tell you that they got their it was the algorithm on TikTok that recommended them this guy who promised, like a return to their their youth, everything would be great again. They would make everything great again if they just went to this website, and it's like this
Which-
really sus bit.ly link that leads to literally www.necronomicon.ru.
I have so
I feel
many
triggered.
questions about so many of those words. We're not going
You
to
don't
worry
wanna
about that right
know.
now.
I feel triggered.
Most of all, Billy, because that one sounds like a word I could get used to.
You don't want anything to do with it.
Witch talk strikes again. All right. Well, since these Beckys did murder a bunch of people,
I will say that only 5 of them did the murdering, and 2 of them are in their book club who are extremely confused about all of this.
we work out which ones those are, and
They get to join
They
an
might have-
Omega.
they might get to be Omegas, and the other 5 go to whatever the equivalent of Brotherhood jail is. Which
I-
jail?
You're being nice. I was.
And
assuming
somehow
that-
Tanya broke her jaw on the way there. I don't-
I saw nothing.
They don't-
I saw nothing.
the jailer doesn't care.
Do
How
we,
are we? I'm just asking, how do we get them there? Because they ain't gonna fit in the Civic.
I mean, you have a giant shape-shifting Shoggoth.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I wrapped them up in a big tentacly donut.
are the human skeletons still upright and
They
functional?
they fell to pieces when the mall died.
All right. I'm slapping the devil out of one of them. All right. I want you to put those poor souls back into their corpses. I need friends. I cannot tell you how goddamn lonely it was being in the ground for 160 goddamn years with a bunch of skeletons who don't know how to talk to you.
Say
Put 'em back.
odds or evens. Odds or evens.
Buddy.
Odds.
All right.
Always odds.
And Grover's like,
Odds.
"I know
Okay.
that's
You
like-"
didn't pick one of the ones who were just a book club one. You got one of the actual necromancers. And she's like, she pulls out like a pink Hello Kitty case covered iPhone, whatever the latest and greatest iPhone is, and she points to it and she goes, "There's not a circle for that."
You're useless to me. Take them away, Kathy.
You heard of there's an app for that? Well, there's not an app for
Uh-huh.
that. Sorry, bud.
I am hurting the Beckys.
You just turn the giant Shoggoth into a car and it drives. drives.
I don't
It turns
know
into a
that I want
VW
to.
bug, and I stuff the 5 Beckys into the VW bug.
And the seatbelts are tentacles.
Yep.
I'm
And
sure
you
they
all-
really enjoyed that.
The seat belts are the whole chair, and they're just all like, I'm like, yeah.
So you drive in convoy back to the Brotherhood with 2 Beckys, possibly in the trunk of your Honda Civic, because there's not really room in the back seat.
And
I
those are
got
book
the-
club Beckys? Or
Yes,
these are
because
two-
they're the ones who are headed for Omega.
Yeah, the two who were not necromancers and had no idea what their friends were doing, they were just
Two
enjoying
Beckys
the wine
and a sommelier.
and the sommelier. Yeah, you got two kind of bitchy 30-year-olds and an underpaid 20-year-old who's been lying on his wine resume.
Oh no! And I'll bet the Beckys are grilling him about things he doesn't know about.
Yeah, basically. Well,
And
I
then
mean,
Carrie
the
going
Beckys are
full
kind of
Karen.
traumatized, so they're not actually talking much, and this really is just like, that was not worth minimum wage.
Well, he's about to find out what's worse than minimum wage.
Joining the Brotherhood.
Hey, medical's good. You actually get medical in the Brotherhood. Granted, it is sometimes a mad scientist sewing your limbs back on, but it's medical.
Do we get dental?
I mean, if you really want an Igor touching your teeth.
I think I'm all right.
This is why there's an evil mad scientist orthodontist.
There is.
Great.
And you all drive back safely to the Brotherhood with your prisoners in tow.
And Rigger goes back into rehab.
And River goes back into rehab. Sorry, you gotta turn in your chip.
Yeah, she's Kathy's gonna call in. I'm sorry, cleanup crew, but you're gonna have to go over the whole mall. Because there's gonna be a lot of evidence in there.
It's an undead mall. Have fun.
Yep.
Yep.
To be fair, as you're driving away, you know, the people were actual people who went to visit the mall because, you know, you're right, this is Texas, there's not much else to do. And they'd mostly cleared the parking lots and stuff. But as you're driving away, you look back and like, this mall has clearly been condemned for, like, it's empty. The signs have been pulled down and have been for a while. The orange ones are still up. The orange ones are
the
still
real
up.
Spirit Halloweens are still there.
Well, actually, the real Spirit of Halloween is one of the buildings that's like in the parking lot.
Parking
Like,
lot.
the opposite side of the parking lot from it. There's like a line of shops near the 75, and that's where the real one is. But the orange signs are still up on there, but the rest of them, like the Dillards and whatever, those letters are down and look like they've been down for a while. The mall, and like you see a sign, this mall will be rebuilt, will be partially demolished and rebuilt to be living spaces. Because true facts, the Collin Creek Mall was in fact condemned as a mall, closed down as a mall in 2017, I want to say, and has been remodeled into a combination living shopping area.
But still for rich people, not like low income housing.
Oh yeah,
for people who actually need it.
It is Plano.
There's nothing in Plano that's low income.
No. Yeah.
I can't get over the name. You'll have to spell it for me in chat. What?
It's
Plano.
It's literally Plano.
Yeah, Plano.
What a
no, you want terrible?
Plano.
San Antonio is in Bexar County. Spelled Bexar. Bexar County. If that doesn't break your brain, I don't know what will.
Not what I would have expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is Spanish. But yes, congratulations. You've all defeated the evil necromancers who were just trying to raise them all. One store to rule them all. One store.
Did they put that, or were there just some nerds working in Spirit Halloween? Some honest nerds who were just trying to get through their day.
We're not sure.
You're not sure. It might have been a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But, you know, the guy at the front desk was an honest nerd, you know, who just hated his boss. And who...
Still hasn't found his phone.
Probably not, no.
Because there's no way he's looking in the Princess Peach outfit.
He might have gotten one of his buddies to call it or something. But, like, the wall has started bleeding. And, like, he doesn't really care about that either because this is a Halloween store. That's clearly just a special effect.
Miraculous how they got the smell
jaded
right,
mall
though.
employees. It's like watching Clerks and mall rats.
Yep. So that has been this adventure of Demon Hunters, and I will admit that I just like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny if you had to kill them all? And that was really how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
That's the best way to
Well
start
done.
a Demon Hunters adventure.
Some reminders. Join us Thursday for Zoe Game Night. 8 p.m. Central. A week from tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, Season 2 of The Shattered Compass will start. Find out what lies in the depths of classism.
Yep. Yep. If you enjoyed this system, you can get it on the Zombie Orpheus store, which you can find through the Shattered Compass merch tab. It's something ridiculous like
You can't get this copy.
We might have gotten
Those
rid of
really
the
limited.
last of these.
I don't know. I don't know.
We
I never got
tried.
rid-
We tried really hard.
We wait. The ones we were trying to get rid of were the Cortex version, and we did get rid of all of those.
Yeah.
All of those went at Gen Con.
We did try to sell as many of these as possible at Gen Con as well.
That's fair, but I'm pretty sure I remember distinctly putting some of the Shattered Compass stuff back in with the
Yeah,
box.
no,
full of-
there's definitely still a few of them because we
There's still a few of them if you want
a
them.
lot. I had to lift all of them. There were a lot of them.
Yes, you should not have been lifting them. But anyway,
No, I
if
shouldn't.
you enjoy the system, you can get it on the Zombie Orpheus store. If you want to play it, there is Demon Hunters Roundtable group available.
Is it still there? Oh, I haven't.
The
logged in
Discord's
there.
still there, and like Neme was just talking on it actually during the
Oh.
stream.
Okay.
But or also we play it at Gen Con. We run it at Gen Con. Zombie Orpheus runs it at Gen Con if you'd like to play it at Gen Con. No Journey Quest news, no Real Gamer news. Ultimate Dungeon Showdown should be in near fulfillment. Valdemar, the new Valdemar Kickstarter just started. If you like Larry Dixon stuff and Mercedes Lackey's stuff, they have a new Kickstarter going. I think that's all the news that's fit to print. Lemire already told you about the streams coming up, and that's that.
And I was gonna say we're gonna go ahead and raid.
Well, if you want to watch more Demon Hunters, we also play it on the channel me and Merc are on, Magic Fish Radio, sometimes on Saturdays. with-
Sometimes
More worse puns.
that's possible.
I don't know. One store to rule them all was.
Pretty bad.
That's why we want to be friends with the internet.
I mean, I put it in the Nightbot. Exclamation point puns is a Nightbot command.
That's fair. And when we're not playing Demon Hunters or some other indie RPG system, we play NMOD in Space on Magic Fish Radio on Saturdays.
Which I
On
run
Tuesdays,
Exit to Eden.
Yep. And then on Tuesdays for Magic Fish Radio, it is random short runs with Dawn.
It's campaigns in disguise because John has game system ADHD. We started playing G.I. Joe and ended up fighting Decepticons, and that's kind of par for the course. We're currently, this Tuesday will be our last game of Aliens, the RPG Destroyer of Worlds, and I'm surprised there haven't been any cross IP stuff going on yet. He stuck to the module the whole time, and I am shocked.
Wow. So Cthulhu, we're gonna go ahead and raid the Lollygaggers who are doing a Call of Cthulhu one shot.
Yay!
I thought it was appropriate.
Sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Where
I
Kathy
can hit
goes,
enter over
tentacles
here.
follow.
Hey, there we go. There's the raid starting. So we'll
Woohoo!
thank you all for joining us. Hopefully
you
we
all.
will see you soon.
Happy
Yep, see you
Halloween.
Thursday. See you
Happy
Monday.
Halloween.
May we all
Happy
destroy the
Halloween.
heart of capitalism in our hearts.
Every day.
And yet a shotgun stand is still the worst thing I've heard all day.
Good night, everyone.